Oh, yes, I am live now. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Britain's Hangout, or not. Well, this isn't really Britain's Hangout Hour. This is more of a stream. I don't generally do my. I don't usually do Britain's Hangout Hour as a stream. This is the State of the Okie 2024, or at least the state of this particular Okie. I am your host, Britain, also known as some Okie Dude. I have my alcoholic lemonade beverage here. So I'm just gonna, there we go, open that up and get this spread around so people will watch it. Happy New Year's, everyone. Oh, nope, it did not fizz over. We're good to go. We're good to go, people. All right, let's get this on the road. I don't see anyone in yet, so I'm going to go to my channel. I'm gonna go right here. Close. All right, let's do this. This, as we head into the new year. I love doing this early because, I love this. I really need to figure out how to do this early so we can not have these situations. But I don't see anyone here, so copy text. But hopefully there will be some people who will show up. I really do. That would be really nice. I have my drink here, so I have to check to see if it fizzes, because sometimes it fizzes over, and that's never good. Basically sharing this on all the Discords. Anyone? Not yet. Yes, it is Monday. So yeah, hopefully I can get some people in here, because that would just suck if I sat here by myself and there was no one. Let's see, share content, paste, bam. Again, I really need to get better at that. New stream. Yes, I'm live once again. No one has shown up yet. It has been 4 minutes now. But yeah, so I'm gonna send out some links for anyone who would like to join the Oh, I do have a reaction here. So, or well, I see a notification on my YouTube. Um, well, it is lonely when you're at 200, I suppose. Hopefully people will start showing up soon. That would be nice. Also have a Dr. Pepper here I haven't finished, so there you go. Probably share this video on Twitter as well. Probably, or well, X or whatever they call it now. Good old Elon Musk. Hopefully people will start showing up soon, because it would be awkward if I just sat here for an hour and like no one showed up. I would just feel really terrible. But it's all right. Huh, that's weird. Apparently my my internet was being weird. That's odd. But yeah, so hmm. Well, I think it would be a good time to mention I did start My Dark Vanessa today, and it's pretty good so far. It's a pretty compelling read. Well, at least at the moment, it is a compelling read. I quite enjoyed the. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Um, Oh, sorry. That says a connection unstable. I don't know what's going on with the internet here. It's being really weird at the moment. Let me oh, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Um, yes. Also hoping to start um, All Things Left Wild by, I'm sorry, I don't mean to that there, James Wade. Hope to start this soon. Heard it's markedly inspired, so I'm looking forward to reading that. Uh, Sorry about that. My internet just, I don't know what's going on here. It's being all weird. But I'm back. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. All right. So you can hear good on my Jason said sweet, so he might be popping in here. Um we'll see what happens. Maybe Jason might enjoy All Things Left Wild because um I don't know. I'm hoping it's good because I've been hearing about James Wade, or well, I heard about him because I read about him in a Cormac McCarthy thing. It was Texas writers paying tribute to him after he passed away, and he pretty much he was one of the guys who was doing it. So I thought it would be a good idea to pick up one of his books. I'm like, well, if he's inspired by McCarthy, that probably means I'll enjoy it, or at least get something out of it, unless it's just someone just aping his style without really knowing why it's, excuse me, as good as it is. So yeah, here we are. Well, I have one person watching, and it's probably me because I'm watching through the stream at the moment because I like to keep an eye on it while I'm watching it. So, um, perhaps it's not a great idea to stream on Mondays, but I thought it would be, since it's January 1st, I thought maybe it would be a good idea. Or I thought maybe people would show up. Maybe they will, but we'll see. Maybe if anyone doesn't show up in the next few minutes, I'll like stop it and then start another one in like a few hours. And maybe, um, yeah. So, oh dear. The connection is unstable. What is going on here? All right. Hopefully, you guys. Oh, thank you. We got Jake Bishop in the house here. Hopefully I can have him on my podcast, and to you, Mr. Bishop. Thank you for coming on here. I appreciate it. I was starting to get lonely in here. How are you this fine Monday? Well, it's evening where I'm at. I don't know where you're at in terms of the time difference, but um, thank you for liking the Ray Gun Nut thumbnail. It's a very old one when I first started this channel up. My good friend Gavin, who is, I don't want to say no longer with us because he's still alive. He's in the military right now. He's in the Navy. So yeah, thank you for liking the ray gun. I was actually watching you talk with like Leanne. I'm well. I'm a huge fan of the way I'm being paid today and didn't have to go to work. That is nice. That is nice. I imagine uh I am also same way. I'm at least I've been on a few weeks off and I'm still being paid. It's very nice. So, yeah. I was actually watching the discussion you did on Best Served Cold with like Jimmy and Leanne and someone else. I can't remember. I think it was actually Bookborn as well. And it was kind of funny because it summed up a lot of how I felt about the book. Because I read it in like June of last year. So, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. It's still Joe, but there were a lot of it kind of felt like he was treading water there for a moment. At least to me it did. Um yeah, I'm starting New Year's. That's still the only live Abercrombie live show I've been on. Well, that's a and it was the one Abercrombie book I didn't like. I won't say I didn't like Best Served Cold, but it definitely felt like it was the weakest one I've read from him so far. Um, just in terms of like I said, I felt like it felt like the themes he was playing with he had already played with in the first trilogy. So I'm just kind of like you know I thought it was still solid. I mean, I'm definitely gonna read more of Joe's stuff. I just I'm taking a break from him right now because I finished the original trilogy and then I read that because I heard the movie was gonna get made, and now I'm here. So there we go. He says Age of Madness is my favorite Abercrombie content by quite a bit, so hope you enjoy that. I've heard people say that. I've heard people say that the Age of Madness is even better than the original trilogy. So I'm curious how that'll go. I do find it interesting that Joe, or at least from what I've heard about the Age of Madness trilogy, that I do like how he moves his society forward. That it's not just going to be like a medieval setting forever. I thought that was. I think that's an interesting approach that a lot of fantasy authors generally don't play with. Oh, God, I can't get this chair in order. But yeah, no, I've heard that. I've heard Age of Madness is even better than the original trilogy, and I like the original trilogy a lot. So, yeah. Mm. So yeah, does anyone have any reading plans for 2024? Because I definitely do. On Wednesday, I'm going to talk about books I'm really excited to read this year since we're finally here. Mm. One I'm actually already reading right now. I'm going to plan less since I failed to follow my plan last year so badly. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm a mood reader, and most of the stuff I plan, I'm not really like planning I'm planning to read them. I just don't have a specific time that I plan to read them um because if I did that, it would just drive me crazy. I definitely a but yeah, no, I got a lot of, and also there's just a lot of stuff I want to do this year, like just kind of play around with different like ideas for the channel. So yeah, I'm excited for 2024. Though I guess we're technically in it, so I'm surprised. I'm excited with what I hope to do this year because there's a lot I would like to do. Like, I got a bunch of podcasts I want to do. There's like I said, I have a video coming up on Wednesday talking about it, so I don't want to talk too much about it. At least not yet anyway. But we'll see. We'll see. Better back real quick. Um Also, I'm going to reveal my level of nerdiness and ask why on the thumbnail is it an upgraded ray gun shooting a red laser beam. Well, I did play a lot of Call of Duty Zombies when I was a little younger. So me and my friend Gavin, we just set it up as the ray gun because I really like the ray gun in Zombies a lot. Like that was like that, and like the Wonder Waffle was probably like the one everybody was like wanting to get in terms of like cool guns from the game. I even have oh shit, where is it? I had it. I don't know where it's at, but it was all of the I can't name them at the moment. The drinks like this, except it apparently tastes really terribly, like Juggernog and yeah, I have played a potentially unreasonable amount of Black Ops 1 dude. Black Ops 2 zombies, those were the days, man. I mean, I was a little too young. Well, I did play Black Ops 1 zombies, and those are a lot of fun. A lot of fun memories on Call of Duty Zombies. I was actually playing Modern Warfare 2, the new Modern Warfare 2, right before I got on here because I don't know. I tend to hate waiting and yes, I played a lot of zombies when I was a kid. I know what you mean, man. When I played, one of the things that bugged me when I would play Black Ops 2, for instance, is the maps are just really big, and you're just like, my God, I just want to, I want to explore, and have a good time. But like they would be so big, and like if you have a group of people you have a chance. But if you're like by yourself and you're not like, I don't know, like Syndicate or what was that one guy who was just ridiculously good at zombies? I can't think of his name at the moment, but he yeah, you're basically screwed. You're basically just, yeah, you have to fight the like crazy monsters by yourself. Oh, man, it was bad. It was really bad. Um, but yeah, no, I like Black Ops 1 a lot. There's a lot of great maps on that one. I love the one in the theater. That's kind of the classic. There were a lot of people, but I will make a wild guess, and that is exactly who I was thinking. So many of them, like, because oh man. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing zombies back in the day. I just what's your profile picture? Is that like is that Moon Knight or Friend from 20th Century Boys? I haven't read it. Or well, I don't think that's Friend. I don't see the weird like symbol on his face. Yes, Kino der Toten, dude. Yeah, that map is amazing. Oh, all right, that makes sense. I've never read Stormlight in my life. Oh, oopsie. Yeah, no, I've not played Stormlight or not played it. I haven't read it. Um, with Brandon's, I actually kind of want to read Mistborn from Brandon Sanderson at some point. And it sounds actually pretty interesting. Like, hey, what if the Dark Lord won? What would that world look like? And I'm like, oh yeah, that could be fun if someone does that right. Music Room says, Happy New Year's, guys. I'm just sort of lurking here if that's cool. Feel free, man. I'm glad to have anyone in this chat because it was becoming more and more apparent to me as I was recording this that this was very half-baked. I was like, man, this is... Oh, man, that was so bad. I'm just, sent some invites to some friends of mine if they wanted to come on here. So, yeah, yeah, that should be fun. I'm always nervous, doing these sort of things because I'm like, oh, I get to bullshit here for like 2 hours. This should be fun. Yeah. Yeah, made it to 2024. In all honesty, I am glad. I'm gonna be 23 in a few months. Can't even believe it. We got 3 people watching now. This is great. Thernal. Well, I am very full from the food. I can tell you that right now. But my TBR for this year, yeah, it's pretty good. I have a bunch of books I want to get to this year, so hopefully if I don't get into a funk like I did last year, it'll be freaking or not last year, a few years ago. It should be good. But BookTube's a good motivator, and it's good to have people who know how you feel. So, excuse me. I'll just leave that out when we get to the editing stage of this video, to quote Brian Lee Durfee. Seth. So is it Seth or Seth? I can't pronounce shit today. New Year's was kind of wild last night, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't do too much crazy stuff. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have seen like the AI, like Harry Potter, where everyone's like partying. Really, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like a raid. Ave. But there was a bunch of people over here, and we drank, and we ate a bunch of food. The food was delicious, by the way. And Jake says, I don't know how to pronounce things. Then I give up at this point. Yeah, no, I was just, oh, God, man. My family and I. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's also football going on, so I'm feeling good. I don't feel as bad as I thought I might feel, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm okay. I'm a little tired though. I didn't sleep very well last night. Yeah, man. You know, God, fantasy names. I heard like Brandon Sanderson kind of pokes fun at like the really absurdly long fantasy names in one of his books. I think it's the Stormlight Archive. I don't. Again, I haven't read any of his work, so I can't really say anything about him aside from like impressions on why like I'm kind of not wanting to read it at the moment because like well, I mean, for one, I'm not really a fan of how he approaches magic. I think I know a lot of people are might kind of snicker at that, but like I like magic to be kind of you know, if magic turns into more like scientific, it just becomes boring. You know, it's not really magical anymore. At least that's my opinion. I'm not, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm like an authority because I'm definitely not. I mean, Brandon Sanderson can laugh all the way to the bank up in Utah, though well, he's a Mormon, so he's probably too nice to do that. But you know, still, he's the one laughing all the way to the bank. I'm just sitting here, you know, just sitting here talking about stuff. Now we got 5 people watching. Thank you, other viewers, for coming in here. Appreciate it a lot. Having a nice time. Though if you want to comment, feel free. I love interacting with you guys. So even though I might be an awkward duckling right now, but I do really like getting comments from the comment section. Like if you guys really want to, you know, interact, feel free. Like I'll answer questions if you want. Like, well, maybe not too personal questions, but if you have like bookish questions or anything like that, I can probably answer those. Unless it's about like Finnegan's Wake, then I haven't read that. I don't know if I want to be honest. Oh man. I like Jake's comment. It kind of reminds me of that scene from The Sopranos when Tony is visiting his mom and she's all like, I gave it all to your cousin Mama Lou. They don't have much money. He gets all mad. He's like, you gave me a freaking vibrating, you gave him a bunch of dinner rings. You gave me a vibrating chair, you know, because Carmela doesn't like any of them. Oh, partner in crime. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Oh, there it is. I'm like, I just saw it on my YouTube channel. It is definitely Sanderson Magic serves a different purposes, not for everyone. I kind of don't mind either way. It definitely doesn't get the chills down your spin chills. Or no, she gave it to the cousin Josephine. That's right. I have my cat here, my partner in crime, as I like to call her. No, hold on. Can you believe that you're almost 10? Because I can't. She's 10, guys. She's 10. I've had her for 10 years of my life. It's crazy. Yes, writing is not easy. I can tell you that. How do people do it? You lose a lot of brain cells, but it's doable. It takes a lot of brain power, but oh man, my but how do people do it? I don't know. There's that line from Watchmen, like we don't do it because like, or what's the line? I can't even fucking think of it now. I'm such a bad fan. Shank, we do it because we are compelled. Oh, yeah, that's right. He says, well, I mean, we don't write because it's permitted. We write because we are compelled. Kind of borrowing a quote from Rorschach. Hopefully, Alan Moore doesn't come down and strike me down with all this hatred. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. There are worse ways to go out. That's possible. You know, I mean, you know, I can see that. Yeah, again, it's just kind of, you know, it's not really a for me kind of thing. Which I know that's such a cop out, and I know a lot of like even like YouTubers I enjoy, where like there's even YouTubers I like who are like, oh yeah, it's just my opinion. Every like couple of minutes, I'm like, yeah, I know it's your opinion. That's why I'm that's why I'm watching your video, man. Like, oh man. Not entirely sure what you're trying to get at, but all right. Then again, I'm still recovering from last night, so I'm not fully there. Not fully there. Oh yeah, I guess that's how it works. Yeah. No, I mean, I watched Jimmy's new video today where he was talking about his favorite books of the year. So yeah, not saying I won't pretend I'm too surprised you picked The Scar because he really loved that book, and I really enjoy that book a lot. I mean, if you want to, oh, I mean, I think there's harder magic systems you can do well. I'm not gonna say I won't pretend that like it's easy or like I'm not gonna pretend that I understand it, but you know, fun stuff. Well, I don't want to. I mean, Jake, I don't want to sound like hard. Thank you, music room. Most of the time. What? What do you mean most of the time? But thank you nonetheless. I appreciate you enjoying it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, they're definitely different in terms of, they're what's the yeah, they're definitely different. I'll give you that. You made me laugh just now. Well, you said that, so I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? But I'm doing okay. Um, do I? Yeah, I get you. I mean, I'm not like I don't want to pretend like it's a black and white thing. I mean, there's some books where I enjoy magic systems that have like particular rules. I mean, like Harry Potter is a lot of fun, though I don't know I would call that a hard magic system, though. She doesn't really give a lot of thought to that. It's just kind of you grab your wand, you say a couple of words, and it just comes out. Well, I am glad I made you laugh because, it I got most of Black Hammer now. I just need to read it. Thanks for the recommendation. It seems pretty cool. Very glad that you got Black Hammer. That is a fantastic comic book series. Though I will say my favorite Jeff Lemire book is probably um this thick boy right here, Sweet Tooth. I got the compendium at a local Barnes and Noble I own, or not own. What am I talking about? Um I enjoy it a lot. And but this one I think is genuinely Jeff Lemire's masterpiece. Though Black Hammer is very, very close. I just mean it's not my thing. That live stream thing has to be tough. I know it's kind of I was sitting there for like 10 minutes. I was like, "Oh man, is no one going to like show up? This is going to suck." But, we got some people in here, so it's worth it. It's worth it. Um, I think HP is kind of in the middle. Like there are definitely things I can tell you Harry can't do, but also like it's not exactly consistent. It definitely kills more. I agree. Yeah, no, it's kind of Harry Potter is weird. Like it's Harry Potter's kind of in that weird like middle ground where it's hard to describe. It's really weird. Even like J.K. Rowling, like she's writing like crime novels, like like a Lahane or like long running like crime series. Like I might have to check those out, but I don't have to. At the same time, I'm not a huge fan of some of her opinions, but that's everyone in life. Um, Tharnal, I will get that too. What's weird about the adaptation? I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it's a bit different from the book, from the comic, because it's more whimsical, I hear, which is not a problem. I mean, you could definitely do that with Sweet Tooth. I'm not going to say, like, I'm not one of those fans who's like hardline, like it has to be exactly the book, but I am curious to see how it would go because I find what's so interesting about the comic is how it would combine how it kind of combines this kind of gritty post-apocalyptic story with this like childlike story, which almost feels like a storybook. um but yeah, I think Sweet Tooth is brilliant and probably the best ending of Jeff Lemire's stuff that I've seen. So yeah, good luck with Black Hammer though. I think most things are more the middle magic wise. Yeah. Yeah, I would say for the book I wrote, it's sort of in the middle because there's like things you can't do, but also I'm just really lazy. I don't really want to. I am not Brandon Sanderson, sadly. I can't just go like, how would this work? And like, how would this, hmm, you know, that takes skill. I'm not gonna lie. I won't pretend to like, there's some people who think it's like pointless detail, but like I think it's a talent to really think that much about your fictional world. You don't. I mean, you don't have to put it in all of your stuff, but my partner in crime is being very meddlesome at the moment. Um, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite. God damn, this cat! I'm telling you, cats killing me, killing me. Get in here. Make up your mind if you want to stay in here or not. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, magic where there's like no like knowledge at all, like that's kind of, you know. It's quite strange how magic works. I don't fully understand all of it. That is not my forte when it comes to fantasy. I generally like the like weird worlds and stuff. The cat says they just want the door to be open. They don't know which side of the door they want to be on. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Um, yeah, yeah. He was talking to you. Yes, yes. He was talking to you. Nope. Now she's on. Yeah, I mean, a lot of my favorite fantasy is a bit unconventional. I mean, like my favorite fantasy novel, at least right now, it could always change, but right now it is still American Gods because, and also American Gods. I remember the other day I was watching a stream and somebody said like this kind of ruined a type of fantasy for me. I think that American Gods ruined urban fantasy for me because like that's such a weird, unique story in such a weird like part of America. Like I don't know if like if I pick up the Dresden Files, I don't know if it would line up. But I know there's people who really like the Dresden Files, and I do want to try it at some point. Like I mean, it's long, but like apparently it's a bit more episodic. So I'm definitely like more like inclined to try it out. Though, there's some people who are like, "Oh no, it's sexist." But Tharnal, I have to ask you real quick if you're still here. What do you mean it seemed pointlessly creepy? Like what do you mean by pointlessly creepy though? And then you know, what else have I read by Neil Gaiman? The Sandman, which is tied with American Gut, which is probably my favorite thing he's done in comics. So I've read The Sandman, Coraline, The Ocean at the End of the Lane, some of his short stories, and I think that's about it in terms of the content. So, yeah. Dresden is completely different. Like both are definitely urban fantasy, but they're as far apart as Lord of the Rings is from First Law. Yeah, I gathered that. I'm not gonna pretend. I will admit I did say that, but I'm not going to act like Dresden Files is gonna be the same thing as like an American Gods. But I'm kind of nervous that it'll ruin the experience because I'm like, man, American Gods was so good. Liam's here, and he says cat. Yes, there's a cat here. Her name's Jerry. Um, I can imagine him just going like, more Liber, damn it. So yeah. Let's see here. It did not give me a horror vibe. Just not in a disturbing, nor heavy, nor dark comedy. I see. All right. I mean, I was about to say it looked more whimsical to me when I saw like the trailers, it seemed kind of like, "Oh, look at how nice everything is." Or well, maybe not that. It's not like that, but it's more like, "Oh, look at oh, it's more like, not Disney-fied, but it's definitely more like It's kind of like a fairy tale, I guess, in some ways, which the original comic definitely is. It's just Hiram Woolley is the best urban fantasy. I'm sorry, Liam. I've never heard of that in my life. I'm just oh man, I'm so lost right now. That's why I like Liam. Um Disclaimer. That's never a great way to start out a comment, Jake. This is probably a joke. And then you can go like reading Dresden first ruined American Gods because I knew you could in fact give your protagonist in an urban fantasy a personality. Well, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people say that about Shadow. Like he does have a personality, but it's just like God, you know what? I don't feel like ranting about American Gods right now. I'm a little, like I said, I'm still a little tired after New Year's last night. So it's wanting to drink wine, but you get a drop of wine in a gallon of water. It's an interesting way to put it. Liam here is mentioning Liber here. If there is a cat, it could be a Liber story. Well, hopefully there's no eldritch abominations or any other strange creature inside my cat because that would be awkward. Though funnily enough, I did meet James Marsters a few years ago at a local con, and nice dude. I knew him from Torchwood, and we talked about Torchwood, and he was just like blown away. Like he was excited to talk about Torchwood. God bless his soul. Well, characters like Shadow. I was actually, I was talking to a friend of mine about Zelazny the other day. Or, hold on, my cat just exited the room. A friend of mine was telling me about. Really? This fucking cat. I'm telling you right now, this cat is fucking killing me. Come here. Can you stop? Can you like? This is the Brian Lee Durfee part where I'm like, I'm gonna cut this out, even though I'm not, because this is a live stream. Yeah, no, but going back to what I was saying, yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine about Zelazny the other day, and definitely one I've wanted to try for a long time. He's an interesting yeah, I mean, I was thinking about trying a night in Lonesome October this last year, but I just didn't get around to it. But yeah, I if I remember right, I think Thornall, I think Gaiman actually, I think he actually dedicated American Gods to Zelazny, if I recall correctly. Yeah, Zelazny is like Zelazny and like Le Guin are like the top like fantasy authors I would just love to try. I just haven't gotten around to them yet because reasons. And my friend's like, you better try him. No, you're gonna do it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know where to start. And he's like, well, go with Amber, you fool. So we'll see where it goes. Also, for weird settings and things Gaiman likes, have you read the Book of the New Sun? No, I haven't, but I do have. Let me just. I've read some Gene Wolfe, and I do actually have one of his. Well, it's technically two of his books. The Wizard Knight, which I hope to. I don't know if I'm going to read this year, but Liam's thinking about having a thing for it, so definitely going to try it out at some point, or I want to anyway. But I have not read Book of the New Sun. Heard it's really good. Heard it's little confusing. Oh, he says Road Marks is a good standalone by Zelazny, better than Lonesome October, in my opinion. All right. I'll just try Road Marks. Then at some here. You guys still see me okay? Computer, the internet is being weird again. No, Jake, I have not read. And to be honest, Jake, I've been intimidated by Book of the New Sun because, like, I don't know. Then again, I read Black Leopard, Red Wolf, which I saw Gaiman's blurb about it, and if I loved Black Leopard, Red Wolf. So like if I hopefully if I enjoy Black Leopard, Red Wolf, hopefully that means I'll enjoy Book of the New Sun as well. I have a friend of mine who gave a review of it, and it was really good, but he didn't really care for it, and it kind of scared me away. But I've seen people talk a lot about it, so I'm thinking about giving it a shot. Also, hello, Jason. I'll be right back real quick. Ryan Skeffington's here, a fellow Okie. How you doing, man? And a happy New Year to you as well. I'm glad that we got some people here. fellow Oklahoman here. Though, I mean, hey, if you do ever run for the governor of Oklahoma, you're definitely getting my vote, my friend. Though I generally don't. You got this. Jake, I appreciate your encouraging words. But yeah, I've heard that. I'll pull it out real quick. I don't mean to make it political, Ryan. I was just saying that because I saw that on your thing. I was just being silly. But watching. I haven't watched a lot of the games today because I'm just been off of New Year's. But if you like Book of the New Sun, I've heard that Black Leopard, Red Wolf is a lot like it, and I read Black Leopard, Red Wolf, and I thought it was fantastic. So. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. gotta meet up at some point since we live in the same state. Yeah, there's been a couple of good Oklahoman YouTubers like Robert from Punk Rock Cereal Bowl is really cool. Hope to have him on Britain's Hangout Hour at some point because that would be fun. I've enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, no, I watched OU just completely blow it against Arizona, and I was so pissed off. Like I haven't really I've been so bad at keeping up with football. Cowboys won though, so that was nice. Oh shit, I forgot to turn my that's my podcast alarm. I apologize if you guys heard that. Well, Jake, I appreciate you coming on here and hanging out for a little bit. Ryan said, I just got a new mic for Christmas, so I'm able to join a live here and there in the new year. Awesome. I also got a new microphone, and that's what you can hear right now. Hopefully you guys can hear me nicely and clearly. All that fun stuff. Yeah. So, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad. I've seen a lot last couple of videos, and I've just been like, oh yes, it's great. It's like, oh yes, thank you, Lord. It's good. It's a lot of good stuff so far, and yeah. I don't know when I'm gonna get the podcast started back up because I did my land. Well, I guess I shouldn't worry about that right now because I know everyone's kind of in the thrall. Good New Year's, and I know I'm. So either next week or the week after, maybe I'll start getting back on the podcast train. Though I'm trying to keep it little. I'm trying to just like get a set schedule because I really want 50 to be special. Um, because um, I hope to have a really special guest on for episode 50. So I'm looking forward to that. Ryan, you wrote didn't John Minton, I mean, didn't he cover one of your books on his channel? Or I think he mentioned it at least. Twitch, keeping a schedule was the hardest part and hindrance to growth. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's I mean I'm not gonna like do like a I mean I'm not gonna stream too much because like a lot of it's funny. I'll get like my podcast guests on and it'll be like, oh, is this gonna be live? And I have to be like, no, it's pre-recorded. Sorry. I mean, not sorry, but it's just like I don't want to let people down. Oh yeah, that's right. He did. I'll have to check that book out at some point. Support fellow Oklahoman. Oh yeah, going back to Oklahoman YouTubers, there's like Robert Punk Rock Cereal Bowl is good. There's one on Matt's page. What's her name? Oh, escaping me right now. Probably have to look it up later. But yeah, it's neat seeing Oklahoman YouTubers. So I'm not the only one. I am called some Okie dude, not the Okie dude. Thank God. I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, so you're the only Oklahoman on YouTube?" I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so. I am one of them though. Got the Judge fan art on my Reddit. Because yes, I am on Reddit, but I don't use it very much. The Oklahoma dude. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I came up with some Okie dude just kind of like I thought it was kind of funny, so I just this is called State of the Okie. And I just thought that was a funny name because I heard Joe Byrne. He did a little thing on Saturday called State of the Burn. So I thought that was funny. So I just went with State of the Okie. So hopefully he doesn't sue me for copyright, but probably not. Joe's a good dude, but you know. Oh boy, they're really going for the Steamboat Willie. I see. Um, yeah, no, it's good stuff. Are we going to get Jason on this evening? I just found his channel and listened to one of his readings. He said he'll come on here. I don't know when he'll do that, but definitely hope he'll come on here because he's I guess he's part of the because I don't know if you've noticed this, Ryan, if you've watched BookTube long enough, but you notice that like people get into kind of their posses, like Tori kind of has her posse and like Mike has his posse and like Joanna and like Jemmy and like Phil up there like a posse. And then like the class of 2023 is kind of their posse. And then like here I am just like in the middle kind of weird part, but I got like Jason on my I got like Jason, me, like we're the posse. Like it's just us and like Amanda, maybe Epic's on there as well because he's still new, but I'm trying to shield all. I know what you mean, man. And I mean, I don't mean to, sound like I'm like dissing on them. I'm a fan of most of these people's channels, but I just think it's kind of funny how that works. It's like, he's like, here's the group of friends, it's like, here we go. And then here I am just like, you're slowly getting assimilated. Yeah, it's like The Thing. There's that scene. I don't know if any of you have seen The Thing from John Carpenter in the 80s, but there's that scene where Wilford Brimley just grabs the dude and just like shoves his fingers into his face. I love the little like cut where he's just like looking around as if like checking to see if no one's, just checking to see if anyone's like watching him do it because it's so funny. Like I love it, Oh, we got a guy in here. Hello, Jason.
Sorry, I had to pause the stream. What's going on?
Not too much, I've just been kind of bullshitting here for an hour.
Yeah, live streaming is its own thing, isn't it?
I know. I'm kind of. I haven't done a lot of them. I mean, I've done podcasts, but it's mostly with like other people. Oh, we got another person.
Oh yeah, we got people joining. I got to look at the chat this time though because
is this gonna work?
Missed it.
All right, I'm here.
You're here.
I'm here. I just ran in. I just sat down. I gotta say, congratulations.
Thank you. For 200, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks,
yeah, man. That's awesome.
Ryan is still in the chat. He says J squared. So there's Jason. You see, Jason. It seems Ryan has become a friend of yours.
Ryan?
Well,
Ryan
I have to. Well, Ryan, I have to.
Yeah. He's on.
I have to send you an invite. So I mean, if you want to like add me on, if you like want to join, if you want to like friend me on Discord, I can send it to you and you can pop in if you want. But hello, John.
Hello, Britton. What's up, man?
I didn't. I didn't. I just kind of sent you one because I'm like, I don't. He's probably not going to because he's probably busy because of New Year's. But
you know what? I was out, but we just got back, and I just I had to jump in and record my top 10 of 2023. I just did that.
Oh.
And then I was like, you know what? Let's say hey to Britton.
Well, hello. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's to you, man. The microphone sounds great.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's I'm very pleased with it. Like yesterday I was on Matt's show and like it dropped on my keyboard. I was like, "Oh shit," Luckily it's not harmed, though. It did break the little you see this thing right there, the little thing that holds it up. It broke that on the keyboard. But aside from that, I can live with that.
You can live with that. As long as the microphone works, as long as we can hear you.
Got to do a top 10. On Friday, I'm going to be putting up, hopefully, actually, I have a dentist appointment either Wednesday or Thursday. So I have my 2024 plans I'm putting up on Wednesday, and then on Friday, I'm doing my top reads of 2023.
I can't wait, man.
I would have done it earlier, but like I didn't. Stuff kept coming up and I was still reading Mr. Timothy. I'm like, dude, that would feel weird like if I was still reading something.
I did the same thing. Like I read like Words of Radiance for like was my last read of the year. So I was like, I can't, I should finish this before I make a list.
Yeah, Carlos, I don't know if you watch StoryTube, but Carlos and Yolanda just put up their video and like literally his first like read of the year was literally like he finished it the other day and it was Lonesome Dove. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, see, that probably made the list.
I actually hope to read Lonesome Dove sometime this year, probably during the summertime. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like everyone and their mom is like, bro,
Yeah.
Even their grandmas, like grandmas, are even like, "Yeah, Lonesome Dove, like it's the shit."
Yeah, I know. Mike is beating that drum. I can't. I'm sure it's amazing. I'm sure if I read it, I would absolutely. It would change everything how I see the world. But it's like I can't buy another book right now.
Like I have it here. So
See, you're set. If I had it, I would throw it on my list.
I also got Kagan the Damned, which I'm hoping to read. And
I think you'll like that, man.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. My first Jonathan Mayberry, man. Your
Mayberry.
chat was Mayberry. Sorry, yeah, that chat was really cool.
Thank you. He's a cool dude, man.
Jason, how are you doing? I don't mean to leave you out. You're wearing your
no worries.
little red shirt there.
I'm doing great. I got my iRobot shirt on.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah. I know we've had a discussion about Isaac Asimov here and there, so
Yeah, he's fun. he's a guy you can have discussions about.
yeah.
I like Asimov.
No, I do. It's just well, I like iRobot a lot, and then the rest of it, I'm like,
I like the robot. I like a lot of the robot stuff. I like where he incorporates the psychology of it, not just the science of it, but the psychology of them gaining sentience and what that means to them and stuff. You gotta look at the prescience of that. Yeah, he sure is. You gotta look at the prescience of that thing. I mean, now the laws of robotic, no matter who you are, if you write something about robotics, you have to include that.
Yeah, AI is one of my favorite science fiction tropes. So I'm kind of ripe to enjoy. I'm kind of in that target demographic, Oh, Amanda's here. So let me just. Oh my gosh, we got ourselves a party going on here now.
I think this happened last time too. Like nobody.
We
was
look
there,
like the
and then
Brady
everybody was
Bunch,
there.
man.
Oh, I know the screen. We kind of do. We need 2 more.
We got
That would be the Brady
fellow
Bunch.
we got fellow Shakespeare fan here. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
I heard you mention iRobot. The guy who wrote / adapted that screenplay was one of my teachers, Jeff
Oh.
Vetter. He
Did
wrote
you ask him why he adapted it so shittily?
He also had he did another adaptation called The Hot Zone in 2019. I don't know if any of you guys watched that. It's based off a book.
No, yeah.
I know the book, but
right about Ebola stopping a pandemic right before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever see that film Contagion?
Oh yeah.
That film was so creepy after COVID happened.
I remember it coming out. I didn't watch it.
It was so weird. I was like, man.
You just watched it because it came out like.
No, I watched it a few years ago.
Yeah, it came out in like 2015.
Yeah.
I remember it coming out, and I remember people thinking it was going to be like a thriller, but really, most of it was spent like in front of a blackboard talking about viruses or something. Yeah.
Pretty creepy.
Yeah, it was creepy because I think it took more of a realist approach, less of a sensational kind of typical Hollywood approach. And so you're watching it expecting kind of a standard narrative, and you're like, oh shit, this is kind of more like a look, like being the fly on the wall of how something gets passed from one person to another, and how something that is seemingly innocuous can become, massive. So it was cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot Mayberry is the current. I saw at my local bookshop a just gigantic Weird Tales 100 Years, and there's his name on it. I'm like, oh yeah, my friend talked to this guy. So,
yeah, I think he was president of the HWA for like a long time. He literally knows everybody.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Yeah. Amanda, you also started My Dark Vanessa today alongside me. Are you enjoying it?
I didn't get very far. I didn't get very far because I had stuff to do, but I was reading it on my phone. Like,
oh, okay.
I got bored. Yeah, I got to the part after like the first like break. So
okay.
She's like, I was 15 when I met. That was the last part. So the last screenshot I sent you, I haven't read past that yet. Fair enough.
Liam is a big Clark Ashton Smith fan, and he says the 100 years didn't have Clark Ashton Smith, which is a super oof.
Yeah, you would think it probably should. Yeah.
Oh, Ryan has a question for you, John. As a former Texan.
Hey,
Wow.
Oh yeah, and Amanda's a Texan.
I mean, in the way of food, because I don't think they do anything better in the
Yeah.
way of food. Like I miss
Butter.
a lot of Texas food.
How do you survive without Tex-Mex, dude?
Man, it is so. And I'm from San Antonio, so yeah.
Oh,
it
jeez.
is.
Yeah, I'm in Dallas. Oh God, dude.
It is brutal. Like I haven't had breakfast tacos in 6 years. It's pretty, unless I make them.
Yeah.
I don't think it.
Tamales.
Yeah, I do. I did find it. I do get tamales every holiday season. I did find a place for that.
It's
I
not
don't
Christmas without tamales.
Oh, right? No way. Absolutely not. I don't think they. In food wise, East Coast does nothing. Pizza. I'll go New York pizza.
I've heard New York pizza is very delicious.
Yeah,
I have ties to Rhode Island. What part of the East Coast, John?
I'm in North Carolina. I'm in like a small
Okay.
town, so I will say I do not miss the crowds and the traffic. I think we do that better here.
It's probably more humid in North Carolina than it is in San Antonio.
It gets to be pretty humid in San Antonio, but the humid here is pretty bad. But there's 4 seasons here. We do that way better. Like there's a season that lasts 9.5, 10 months in San Antonio. It's just called god awful hot. So, having 4 seasons has been amazing. I love having
Dallas is just a little bit hotter than San Antonio.
Yeah, it might.
We're probably about the same.
Probably about the same.
Like if you look at stats, it's like Phoenix, Vegas, and then Dallas, and then a couple others.
Yeah.
But like the difference between Vegas and Dallas is huge with how many days we have over 100.
Right. But it's like how many days in a row are 100? Like it's crazy. Like no one wants to live there. I was so done. I was with the crowds and the heat. I do not miss either one of those two things.
Oh, wait till you guys come to Oklahoma. There's an old saying out here. It's if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It'll probably change.
It's kind of like that in Dallas too, a little bit.
Yeah. But stuff just like grows out of the ground here. Like it's amazing. Like it's like a real ecosystem. Like when I left Texas, it's like there was just.
You're from Arlington? No way. Go Rangers, dude. My mom's from Arlington. She went to Arlington High School. Oh my God.
I'm actually I'm also very pleased that the Rangers finally won.
John, what about you? Sorry, Jason, we're leaving him out.
It's all right. Just a California boy over here.
Hey, I lived in LA for 10 years, Jason.
Oh, nice. I'm about
California,
3 hours north of there.
You went to Bowie. My mom went to Arlington High School, and my brother just had not just a year ago, at a basketball tournament over at Bowie. Y'all got the nice metal detectors over there, as opposed to my school down in Southeast Dallas. But yeah, my mom went to Arlington High School. My grandma still lives in Arlington. My grandma's lived in Arlington for like 70 years now. But I think my uncle still lives there. My cousin went to UTA, like huge Arlington. Nice.
Jason, I was kind of jealous you lived in California the other day because you were like walking outside and you were like, oh yeah, it's real nice out here, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like,
I was surprised, Ryan.
Really here, but it's
my school is like the worst in Dallas, and I saw a kid who had the Arlington logo and it said Sam Houston on there, and I was like, oh wow, I've heard that's bad. That must be really, really bad if he's here. Like it must be way worse than I thought it was. But yeah, Bowie's probably closer to like Carrollton. That probably means something to you. Maybe you, John, but Ryan probably knows what I'm talking about. CFB, Carrollton, like Smith.
So were you born and bred there in California, Jason, or did you move there?
Yeah, so I was originally from the Valley, which is a really shitty part of California.
That's where I lived.
Oh, really? Well, no, like Central Valley.
I was in the San Gabriel Valley.
Oh, okay. And then about 16 years ago, moved out to San Luis Obispo, so that Central Coast area, for work, and I've been here ever since. So
nice.
So did
I've
you
been to California
so like when
once.
you read like John Steinbeck, did you get like PTSD flashbacks?
Yeah, it is weird reading Steinbeck because you're like, oh, I know that place.
I love Steinbeck.
Yeah.
No, he's good, and he makes me want to visit that place, even though it's probably not as like
Well, it's
you
quite
know.
a bit different now.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not as like how he described it, but I'm like, man, I want to just like
See,
go
East
over
of
there.
Eden was my class read when I was in 12th grade, so a senior. And I recall not liking it.
I
But
did not like Edith Stevie. I really wanted to
yeah,
because I heard that was kind of like his magnum opus.
Mm.
I
Funny
think
thing
it
is,
was
though,
meant to be, but Grapes of Wrath ended up being it.
yeah,
Yeah,
Grapes of Wrath
I
actually
would say
got
so.
me back into
Yeah.
reading. You know, I was kind of
Yeah.
in this funk for many years, and I read Grapes of Wrath, and for whatever reason, that book really kind of turned me on to fiction again.
Yeah, I
So.
mean, Steinbeck's one of those guys. Like I said this to Jason a while back, but he's one of those guys. Like when he's good, he's genuinely exceptional. But like when he's like kind of like you can tell. You're like, oh. Or maybe it's more of a personal taste thing. Like Grapes of Wrath. Then again, I read it when I was in high school, so I was like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I read.
You may not have been ready for it, man.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a polemic novel, if that makes sense. Like there's like a lot of like, oh, we're going to the California land.
Britton, one of the women I talked to you about in our like Texas versus Oklahoma thing, Kristen Hanna, she
Mhm.
wrote a very kind of Grapes of Wrath type novel called The Four Winds about migrant workers out there.
Mhm.
There's a town out in Dalhart, which is right on the border of Oklahoma, up in the Panhandle, went dry, and so they go out to Oklahoma and basically turn
Oh.
into a Steinbeck novel. Not
Reverse-
Oklahoma, California.
reverse
You know how that.
Steinbeck. I like that.
So Ryan, I am about. Let's see, how far is Fresno for me? I wouldn't say near Fresno. It's probably about a 3 or 4 hour drive. But Fresno is actually.
Yeah, that's
so I'm
like Dallas to San Antonio. That's
yeah,
not
I'm
near.
originally from Bakersfield, which is kind of like Fresno's sister. So, but I have been to Fresno. But yeah, not super close. Yeah, it's weird about one thing I've learned is that talking to people from the East Coast, they'll drive like an hour and then be in a different state. It's
Yeah.
just so weird to me,
Yeah.
like spatially, because I've lived here my whole life. That it takes you from where I am. It takes about 10 hours of driving north to get out of California.
Yeah.
And so you just have a very different idea of distances. It's weird. But yeah.
Yeah. Texas, same thing. Like
Yeah.
Texas
Yeah, I
is
know.
like,
Well, 3 hours from Dallas, you're in San Antonio, or 3 hours north, you're up in Oklahoma City. 3 hours south, you're about in San Antonio. 3 hours west, you're out in Abilene. 3 hours east, you're in about Shreveport. So it's
yeah.
it's pretty.
I've never made it from San Antonio to Dallas in 3 hours. You hit Waco. I mean, it takes me always took me
Does it?
way longer. Yeah.
Okay. Austin's like 3 hours. Like San Antonio, it's like an hour from Austin.
I mean, it takes 45 minutes to get out of Austin just by yourself, depending on traffic. I mean, Jason knows this. It's 3 to 4 hours anywhere you drive in LA, depending on traffic. You hit the 405, man. You could be there 3 or 4 hours.
Bro, Houston traffic. Dallas doesn't have the traffic. Houston has the worst traffic. Like, I don't think traffic in Dallas is that bad, but in Houston, like, no, can't do it.
Wait, doesn't Mike live in Houston?
Mike
Yeah.
lives in Houston, yeah.
Mhm.
I thought. I'm like,
And his wife's a redhead.
because he likes the Texans. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. He probably likes the Astros too, so
Oh
unsubscribe right there.
yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's talk about I-35.
Oh,
Hey, I think we're all on there except Jason. Oh wait, well,
Yep.
John, you're not anymore.
Not me.
yeah, but I have
yeah,
been.
just go straight up there and I'm Oklahoma, San Antonio. I-35 I think ends in Laredo.
Yep.
I mean, I do love Dallas, but man, the traffic there, it's kind of hard to like get moving in that city.
I mean, San Antonio, everywhere in Texas.
Message. I was downtown.
I've been to I saw the Alamo, so because I was really into the Alamo as a kid, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to San Antonio one day. So me and my mom
Dude,
drove
it's
down
underwhelming.
there,
Yeah, there's nothing to it.
and we're like,
Right.
yeah, and
Yeah, it is underwhelming. It is.
it was
underwhelming.
super super hot that day. Oh my gosh, it was
Every day.
No, I went with my 8th grade class to San Antonio, and we got to the Alamo like 45 minutes before it closed, and we got to see everything.
Yep.
So,
easily.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, like, we're kids walking around talking, looking at stuff. Like, even at 14, I was really underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I think it's the only time I've been.
I mean, all that's left is the chapel, the little cathedral. That's all that's left.
Yeah, like the little building everyone recognizes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, been a lot of cool stuff about Texas. I mean, you can't really say the same thing about Oklahoma, except maybe, again, like Grapes of Wrath, where, they're going to California, and that just makes me mad, because I'm like, man.
Yeah. There's definitely a mystique about Texas and California, too. There's some mystique about California.
Yeah. But California was its own republic at one point, too, wasn't it? So, like, why is there that, like, thing where, like, Texas is the only state that can fly its flag at the same mass as, like, shouldn't California be able to do that too? The only ones that can fly our flag equal to the U.S. flag.
Yeah, I heard a lot of crazy stuff about Texas. I heard, like, you can carry katanas in Texas.
Well, open carry, yeah. You could carry an AR-15 just down the street.
Oh my God.
Open carry.
Yeah. When Texas signed to their statehood papers, that flying the flag at the same height was included in that.
My great-grandmother, who that story that I sent you, Britain, was kind of based on, was born in the Republic of Texas. My grandmother's grandmother. So born in the Republic of Texas in, I think, like 1845 or something. So.
Yeah, no.
That's how far back Texas goes, at least. I think her parents were from, like, someone was from North Carolina, I know, and then I think her father was, like, an immigrant. But then on my dad's side, like, I've heard rumors that my great-grandfather was undocumented from Germany. Like, my grandmother told me she thinks he was, but she didn't know. Like the Germans. And I told my dad, he was like, well, yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
but,
I remember.
I mean, like, we don't know.
I remember, Amanda, I was reading your screenplay a while back, and I was like, your version of Oklahoma is kind of deserty from, like, the look, like, how you're describing
the way I described it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. Because I described the red dirt a lot, didn't I?
Yeah. Like, I mean, there is that, but, like, there's a lot of plains out here. Like,
yeah. But the dirt is red. It's beautiful.
It is
bright red. Like, not like the YouTube button red.
Yeah, it's kind of like reddish orange, brown, a little bit. West is dirt, east is trees. Yes, that's about right, Ryan. That's about how it is. But yeah, no, it's. Well, I should ask. I know I kind of asked this before. Do you guys have any, like, 2024 plans? Or, John, I know you're doing the Brian Lee Durfee books. That should be fun.
We start that
on the sale, because I got them when they were on sale on Kindle, so I have all 3 of them. Got them for like 99 cents.
No, I got. I have a hard time e-readers. I mean, my eyes start to go out on me, so I got actual paper. I try every time I can do an actual book. I do an actual book. So I got
You're old, John.
Yeah, you have no idea, my friend. Yes, very much so.
You can't just make the font on the Kindle really big?
I mean,
it probably starts, like, jumping off the page.
Could.
You say just, like, shadowy and.
I haven't. I think part of it is I haven't bought a Kindle. So when I do an e-reader, I do the Kindle app on my iPad.
Okay, so I used to do that, and I used to have that problem. Do not use black with white letters. Don't use white with black letters. Use a green background with black letters, and that totally solves it.
No, maybe I'll try.
I used to have that problem where it almost kind of looked 3D, like with old 3D glasses, and it would blur a little bit.
I mean, it's fine for a while, but if you want to sit and read for an hour, a couple hours, it's like it just starts to wear on me really bad. So,
well, try changing it to a green background.
I will. I'm old school though, man. I love a book. I love a book in my hands.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah,
it is.
I mean.
I am going to try to. I started both Mistborn and The Way of Kings, so I'm gonna give those a second chance. Mistborn, I tried like late 2020 and couldn't follow it. I was getting really confused with like the ska and all that, but I wasn't as used to fantasy yet. And same with the Wayakin, so I think I'm gonna try them both. Try to get Mistborn Era 1 and just give Wayakings another try. And then if I like that, get through the next ones until I guess like, it's like the mid-season finale coming out
November, yeah.
November, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, I mean I have a lot of stuff. Speaking of Texas books, I do hope to start All Things Left Wild soon by James Wade. I saw this guy on a piece they did about Cormac McCarthy passing away, so I'm like, oh, I'll keep my eye on that guy.
Has everyone read Lonesome Dove?
Oh,
Britton's about to.
I'm going to this summer.
I need
Yeah,
to. I've had it for a
that
long time.
is the Lonesome Dove Baptist Church that inspired him to write the novels in my hometown.
I was about to say, Amanda, you want to talk about your connection to that book?
Oh yes, yes. And this was like, I'd never like actually heard the story. I just heard, oh, it's based on Lonesome Dove Church, and it's like, oh well, yeah, there's a Lonesome Dove Church in Southlake, but yeah, evidently he wrote like the very first sentence, knew he wanted to write a Western, was having serious writer's block, and saw a rusty old van for the Lonesome Dove Baptist Church in a parking lot somewhere, and that just sparked his imagination.
That's
So,
cool.
You're welcome.
Yeah, McMurtry. I know a bit of his. Like I've seen a couple movies based on his like books. Like I saw The Last Picture Show a few years ago for a class, and I was kind of like, okay, that was kind of.
That's going to be your reaction to the end of Lonesome Dove, I think. When I was done with that, I kind of just sat there staring at the wall for 5 minutes, wondering like what I was doing with my life.
No, I was
Well,
like
it's a
watching
series,
it. Like,
right? There's like 3 or 4 books.
Yeah, there's a few. I think there's like 5, but
Okay.
I think they can all be basically read as standalones. There's the prequel's called Comanche Moon, which is about kind of the stuff they talk about that happened in their past. Like, I won't spoil it for Britain, but it's about them in their glory days. And then there's a couple more.
I also watched HUD, which I thought was very good.
I like
Paul
HUD.
Newman is fantastic. I mean, God, what a loss. He was so good.
Robert Duvall has gone on record to say that the Lonesome Dove guy, Gus Augustus, was his favorite character to ever play.
Oh.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And I did watch Brokeback Mountain, which he did help with the
That's not
screenplay
him.
with for some reason.
That's not McMurtry.
I know it wasn't him who did it, but he did the screenplay for the movie. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So I'll throw it in there.
It's based on a short story by Annie Proulx from Tales
Good
of
movie.
Wyoming.
Yeah, I dug it.
Heath Ledger, another one. Man.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
miss him. He's missed.
Yeah, Jason, what are you working on?
What am I working on?
Is
What do you
based
mean,
on
like,
Taming of the Shrew.
What do you mean, Ryan? Like books, or you mean like reading, or what are you talking about? Videos?
I would assume writing.
I think he assumes writing. Yeah.
Writing. Yeah. I'm. So I wrote a short story that I'm submitting for an anthology. Well, I already submitted it for an anthology, and it kind of spurred this idea to like create my own little anthology, whereas that's kind of the centerpiece of it. Because I have this bad idea. I have this bad habit of being sidetracked, which is why I jump to all of these different genres often. So that finishing probably the second book of my series, and then getting some first drafts turned into final drafts, hopefully.
Have you ever looked at literary magazines, Jason, for your short stories?
I haven't, but I've been talking to somebody on my Discord server who's been submitting to Clark's World. And
to where?
Clark's World.
Isn't that the sci-fi magazine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a sci-fi, lit mag. And so I've been thinking, just for the hell of it, to try to submit to there. It just seems like a fun experiment. He mentioned though that they don't really give you much feedback. It's just kind of like a rejection or acceptance.
Basically, yeah.
So that's
but if they like seriously consider, like I got one from the Iowa Review. Like I've gotten 2 forms, and then one was like, "Oh, we find your work really promising. We seriously considered it." But yeah, they didn't say really any reason why they didn't use it.
That's basically the nice way of saying, sorry you didn't get in.
Well, there's normally a form letter where it'll be like, thank you, but unfortunately. But if it's not like exactly, I don't know, it was different. Like they
That's
they have a
tricky.
form letter that they send, and I've gotten 2 of those, but then this one particular one that I got was like different. So if they do actually like want your stuff or are thinking about their stuff, they'll tell you that, but they won't tell you why they reject it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I
hello,
was trying
Matt.
to tell people is it's really tricky because a lot of times your story is not bad. It's just not what they're looking for at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that sucks. That's where you're like, oh, I don't know if it's a great story or a bad story or if it's just not
Sometimes
right
they
for
will
the
straight up
market.
say, it's too long or yeah.
Jason, are you looking for? You said you were going to do an anthology. Are you looking for anyone for that? Because
well, I mean, I was gonna just write a bunch of short stories, but yeah, I mean, I never thought about.
I thought you
it's
meant
short
I thought you meant like you were
collection.
getting
That's
people
not an
together to do it.
anthology.
Like,
No,
sorry.
but that's a really good idea. I really should just do that because that would be a cool experiment. We tried that on my Discord server a while back. We were doing this project called the Exquisite Corpse Project, where we had this premise. We all randomly selected a genre and a rough storyline. Again, really, really rough, not plotted out. And we were each writing a POV. And at one point at the very beginning, there were about 8 different people who were participating in it. But then, as you know, a lot of projects, when they get kicked off, everyone's having fun. And then a few chapters in, people start falling away. And then it kind of fell off the map, unfortunately. But yeah, it would be cool. That's a good idea. I should probably...
I thought that's what you meant when you said
no.
anthology. Sorry,
I meant like I wrote the short story basically to spec for this Southern Gothic anthology.
Short story collection, Jason.
Yeah. I was going to do well. I was submitting it. I already submitted it for an anthology. Right. It's still I don't know if it's going to be accepted or not. But I really like the story, and then it kind of got the cogs turning in my head about, oh, what if I added some peripheral stories, kind of like Knock 'em Stiff by Donald Rippon.
I love it when that happens.
I was just about to. I was about to ask him, like, so is it like Knock 'em Stiff?
Kind of. I mean, in that way, where there's kind of a geographically similar or related theme with the whole thing, and obviously the tone of it's pretty dark, but yeah, but I keep reminding myself I have so many first drafts I need to like finish.
Yeah.
That's my problem is I love like a new idea and then I like blaze through it and then I just stop and then never get it out there. But
I feel you, Jason.
Yeah. But I mean, how's your stuff going? Because I know you've been submitting like crazy to try to get agents and stuff, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
It's going good. It's going all right. I'm just in the like waiting period that we all do. I also submitted a lot like right before Christmas, so probably not going to hear back. But if you submit through Submittable, like you can check. Like I'm gonna go on my Submittable right now to see if people are, because a lot of lit mags and stuff. Yeah, so I've got 3 in progress, so that's a change. But let me see how many outstanding I have right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, 17 submissions.
Damn.
The last one I submitted on the 21st of December, so I'm probably not going to hear about that for a while. But the one I submitted on the 16th, it says it's already in progress.
These are all just separate short stories submitted to different magazines?
Some of they're like simultaneous submissions, yeah. Okay. So I have right now, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 different stories. Yeah.
I was about to say, Ryan, Jason's new video came out today. It was pretty good.
Best and worst.
The thumbnail was hilarious, I thought.
Yeah, I thought I would have fun with it. I always like to combine videos because I find that I get too lazy to do 2 separate ones.
It's so fair, dude.
Oh, it's my best and worst versus doing a best and then a worst. Because I think
I was doing a video of the quote hardest books I read in 2023 based on grade level. I'd have to look those up, but definitely Philip Chase's book's going to be up there. The Way of Adan, that feels like that was written on a fairly high reading level.
Yeah, I love that book. That was great.
I loved it, but I just wish it wasn't just such hard work to get through it.
Yeah, no, I kind of.
It was not like cutting through butter at all.
Yeah, I kind of.
Like-
Not for me, at least.
Oh, sorry.
What you mean, like, so just the vocabulary use and the complexity of the sentences and stuff like that?
And the what we call the lexile level, which is like words in their context and
Okay.
like the way the sentences are put together and stuff, and just how it reads, and yeah. And so the way the sentences are written can kind of affect what you comprehend versus what you don't, and stuff like that.
I thought it had a real classical feel to the language, but I mean, I thought it was just enough of a modern spin to it was still kept kind of was like a page turner for me. I didn't get bogged down at all. I really
wow.
dug it.
Have you read Bernard Cornwell?
Yes.
Do you get bogged down by him?
He did a Warlord Chronicles video.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
I just I got bogged down a little bit in a lot of the old English names of places and stuff. But then once you get kind of used to that, I mean, you get used to the flow of it. No.
Yeah, I got it. I got definitely got bogged down by Cornwell, not by Agincourt. That's going to be on my top 10. His book Agincourt, but Warlord Chronicles. I mean, when I picked it up, I couldn't put it down, but it was like,
yeah,
do I really want to go through this right now, or do I just want something else? Because first of all, that's classified as a fantasy. In my opinion, that should not be a fantasy.
Oh, I disagree. I think people call it a historical fiction. That's absolutely chock-a-block full of magic.
It's not real magic.
Nothing but real magic.
No,
Absolute real magic. Absolute real magic.
Oh man. Okay.
We should start like a hashtag, real magic.
Yeah. No, I just, for me, it's like there's just too much, especially by the time you hit book 3, there's like too much cause and effect of what Merlin and Nimue are doing and how it actually works and stuff. Is like, man,
I want to hear how you say it.
Huh?
Say her name.
Nimue.
That's how you say it. I say Nimue, but I think it's really like Nimue or something like that. I don't know. I was like reading it like Nemu in my head.
I'm going by how Nicole Williamson said it in John Borman's film Excalibur. So,
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Arthurian, Spear was a really good. I read a few Arthurian stuff this year because I was really not familiar with that story. I was always more into Robin Hood. I love Robin Hood, the hood, the bows and arrows, but like I didn't even really know the legend. I know that Lancelot stole Guinevere as something with a sword and a stone and something with a cauldron. So that could be a reason I got pretty bogged down too, is because I just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a Holy Grail quest, but the cauldron kind of took the place of that in book 2 of Cornwell.
He's got one he calls the Grail quest, his Archer or 100 Years War story, which I have and will eventually read.
I actually rewatched Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade the other night. And
I think my parents did too.
He chose poorly.
It aged poorly, you say, John?
He chose poorly.
He chose poorly. He chose wisely.
He chose poorly.
I just got the Way of Adan. Does it have distinct prose?
I would say so, yeah.
I would say so also. I really liked, too, the religious violence.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect the amount of violence that comes with that prose.
That's what I've heard. I've heard Matt. I was on Matt's show the other day, and he was like, "Yo, I did not know Philip was capable of that,
dude." And it's
very violent.
And it starts off like,
yes,
it starts off there like, oh damn, yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought that was part of the, it's got like some modern sensibilities with the classic language. I thought he was able to walk that tightrope real well. I really dug it, man. I can't wait for book 2.
I have book 2 on my Kindle, but I'm kind of like scared to go there just because it's like, do I really want to put my brain through that right now?
Because I'm hoping to get to
fairly new to fantasy in regard of most things, so I want to get the more mainstream stuff like Sanderson big time, because the first Sanderson novel I ever made it through was Tress, and that is my fantasy right there. Tress, Stardust, that kind of whimsy. Mm-hmm. With a little bit of cynicism put in.
Jason's just like cringing in the background. He's just Matt just just aggressive disappointment.
Yeah. Funny you bring that up. I was about to do a video where I edit the first chapter of that Tress book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was going to. So I did a video. I used to do these videos a long time ago where I would
I've gone back and
take
seen them.
take. You've
Rewrite
seen
them.
them, yeah. So that was a suggestion because they were understanding
Do it.
why they couldn't get into the book. I know why they couldn't get into the book, but I don't think they realized. So I'm going to try to. It's going to be a little bit of a different, just like an edit. It's going to be more of a rewrite,
Mhm.
but trying
Yeah.
to like maintain the spirit of what it is because it's all omniscient. It's all very storybook. There's no drive to that first chapter whatsoever, and so I can see why somebody would be
I
turned
think
off
no,
by it.
but I just fell in love with those characters in that first chapter. I was reading it on my iPhone app while I was at a Chinese restaurant, and my parents were engaged in conversation that I was not interested in. So I did the thing, pulled the phone out, started reading Tress, and oh my gosh, Charlie. If I was 16, I'd do what you did, Tress. Yes. But no,
Charlie.
I think I don't know if Jason and John know about my thing with rodents, my affinity for rodents.
Oh yeah, we know your
Yeah.
pets.
No, John's like, what is going on?
It's like, hang
I
on.
have guinea pigs, and so
All right.
any kind of rodent I just absolutely love. And we know there's an animal companion, and that's a rat. So
I have not read Prior or
me either.
how do
No,
you,
I
how
haven't
the
read
hell do you
either.
pronounce that? Priory?
Priory.
Priory of the Orange Tree. Yeah.
I haven't. I've seen that around at like local
You
bookshops.
haven't read
I
enough
haven't
Kinfollet
read
to
it.
know how to pronounce Priory.
So yeah, sorry, Ryan. I was gonna mention something. Oh yeah, I hope to read Idan at some point this year. And I was gonna get it for Christmas, but then my parents were like, we couldn't find a paperback for it. So I'm like, I bet they just didn't, because they've done this before. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I look it up. There's a paperback right there. I'm like,
Yeah. I went through Amazon, I think.
I don't like the matte feel of the KDB paperbacks. They just feel dirty to me. And having guinea pigs, I have guinea pig hair on me often. So I'll be reading, and if I like set it down, I'll pull it off, and there's like guinea pig hair sticking to it. Like that was an unpleasant experience. Just I don't like the texture of it. Now the glossy paperbacks I like, but yeah, he did say on Twitter he might get a hardback going, but I really love those covers, especially the third one.
of the Idan? Oh yeah,
Mhm.
it's like walk. It's like what, and I think he said he was inspired by cathedrals, but yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of look like those cathedral like
They're
windows.
gorgeous.
Yeah, they're
There's
great.
a lot of there's a real spiritual journey through them, and there's a lot of Eastern mysticism worked in there. So it's pretty cool, man.
It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's
Just don't expect Game of Thrones. I don't even know what I would compare it to, Ryan, to be honest. John, like,
I mean, I think you've got to go back to kind of Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of the lore brought across through story or songs or things like that.
Yeah.
He relies on a lot of that for world building. Which, if you like a classical feel, I thought it was really cool. I really liked it a lot.
it was very different and well done different. Not different as in like weirdly good, but different in a very good way. Not like, I don't know, seduced by the pumpkin spice latte. Like that was different. That was so bad it was good.
I thought you were talking about like Ice Planet Barbarians or something.
Well, that too. I mean, it's
I
like
kind
the
of,
same.
you know, Amanda, I have to say, you're
You
kind
can't
of
look at
making
me
me
the
want
same
to.
way since I told him I liked that book.
No. You know what, Amanda? I'm actually kind of wanting to read Ice
Do
Planet
it.
Barbarians
It's
now.
hilarious. It's hilarious, but at the same time, it's kind of good. It's like there are actual like high stakes in there, so it's at the same time you're like, I wonder what's gonna happen, and then it's this really weird sex scene, and you're like, all right, that happened, but yeah,
Yeah, that sounds about
it's
right.
crazy. It's crazy.
I did a lot of Grimdark this year.
I want to read more Grimdark.
You know, I'm actually hoping to have a discussion on my channel at some point this year. Maybe I'll get Epic on and we'll talk about like what Grimdark is, because I'm like, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I had that problem with Sword and Sorcery. Like what?
Really?
Well, Sword and Sorcery is well, I mean,
feel
if
like
you really
Sword
want
and
to go
Sorcery is
back, like
easier to
that's
find.
kind of the original Grimdark, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just really like a nebulous kind of just more based on mood versus an actual genre.
I mean,
I don't know.
At this point.
I think
I
there's some.
hear it's like a classic fantasy, but with a really small story, kind of.
No, I wouldn't say
No,
that.
okay.
It can
Then
be
my
pretty.
brain was wrong.
Like I thought Abercrombie stuff was pretty sprawling, but I mean, it was. You got some morally complex, great characters, and I mean, I just thought it was good. I mean, I just thought it was interesting. I don't know
Well,
if you.
I meant Sword and Sorcery. You were talking
Oh,
about
Sword and Sorcery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. No.
Well, Sword and Sorcery is more like
Conan the Barbarian.
Conan. Yeah.
well, yeah, that. But it's more. I wish Liam was still here. He would just
I know.
he'd be ranting about it right now. But it's more like. I have to agree with what Liam said. Like most Sword and Sorcery are best in like short stories.
That's what I heard. Is that it's like a classic fantasy, but a very small short story.
Pretty much,
Like,
yeah.
Not huge in scope. Like Grimdark, that's usually got a pretty big scope, right?
I found it too. Yeah.
I have.
To me,
I
I feel
have
like Grimdark's more of a tone.
First
though,
Law.
Yeah,
personally.
I would agree with that, Jason.
Yeah.
I was about to say, yeah, that's about
I
right.
mean, yeah, I think you could have a small story or a big story in Grimdark. I think it's just more, for me anyway, it's like more of a tone.
Yeah, I'm wanting to try. Yeah, I want to try Discworld. Like Derry was telling me about it, and then my friend Josh, who I had on my Christmas episode, was like, "Yo, Discworld, it's the shit." And I'm like,
See, I didn't think I was going to connect with a funny fantasy book, but then I read the Frugal Wizard's Guide, and that was hysterical. But if I want like funny, normally I'll go for something like Ice Planet, like erotica that just is so ridiculous it's good. But it kind of reminded me of reading erotica, reading Sanderson's.
That's got a real Sword and Sorcery feel.
Kagan does.
Yep.
That's why I wanted to read Kagan. Also, Michael Moorcock is quoted here. So I'm
Kagan
like,
the Damned. I am going to put that in my want to read. Kagan.
Okay.
Mine Goodreads is acting weird. It's
Yeah, I know.
I sent Britton a screenshot and he's like, no, mine's not doing that. I was like, well, thank you very much. That doesn't help me.
Sorry, man. That was not helpful last night.
I know. Sucks. Okay, want to read. Ooh, that's a cool cover. It says fantasy fiction horror, adult, epic, dark.
It is Sword and Sorcery with a really huge dash of Cthulhu mythos
Gotcha.
interwoven through there.
Sworn by oath, abandoned by the gods, fueled by rage. That's awesome.
You know, John, I was watching your Mayberry conversation the other day, and I thought it was interesting. You mentioned that Kagan, like he described Kagan as like a big guy, so he's like because he does martial arts, so which funnily enough made me think of like Joe Lansdale because he also does martial arts and he's also a writer.
Mm-hmm.
But he mentioned like how he's big, but he has to rely on his speed. So I'm like, oh, that could be fun.
Yeah, he's anytime Mayberry writes a fight scene, like it is fast and it is brutal, and every single fight is different. Like all the Joe Ledger stuff, like all the hand-to-hand combat stuff is like first rate because he has such a history in martial arts. He knows exactly how to throw hands. It's really interesting to read what he does with a fight scene. There you go.
Have another talk about rodents. My cat. Well, I guess they're not rodents.
No.
Sometimes
I've wanted a cat for a really long time, and now I'm afraid it's going to eat my guinea pigs.
Yeah, cats are
Like,
freaking brutal, man. Like they don't give a shit. They're just
No,
like,
they're predators, man.
Yeah. Guinea pigs are not. They're prey animals. They can run and they can hide. They're so paranoid they sleep with their eyes open.
Amanda, I have to ask you this: Have you seen G-Force at all? And have you seen the glory that is G-Force?
I have, and Secret Life of Pets too has a guinea pig. Oh God, now I gotta go get a guinea pig. Look what you guys did.
All right, Britton, I got to jump off, man. Jacob is giving me. We got to start. He's got to start editing stuff on the computer and everything. So I got.
All right. Well, thanks for popping in, John.
Yeah, man. Happy New Year's, everybody.
Yeah, you too, man. Nice seeing you.
You too, buddy.
Oh,
whoever hops off. Here he is.
It's the awkward like. All right, and now.
No, I'm probably.
There you go.
Oh, okay. He's still there. I didn't even realize.
All right.
Here's
Yep.
Here he is.
What's this one's name?
Wiley.
Wiley.
Because of a play I saw when I was a child called Wiley and the Hairy Man.
Hello, T. How you doing? Thank you.
Oh my god, his little friend is screaming without him. Wiley, you are needed.
I added that book, the All Things Left Wild you mentioned, Britt, and that looked pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, I have.
Yeah,
like his
when you
books.
said McCarthy, I was like, my ears perked up. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, I thought I would, but yeah, he was on the McCarthy. He's on this news article about his death, and like Texas writers were talking about him. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I could jive with this.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
I'm getting hungry. I haven't had dinner. I'll see ya.
All right. Well, it's you and me now, Jason.
All right, just the bros.
Just the bros. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw my like kind of like I wouldn't call it a rant, but it was just kind of like like talking about how like booktubers get into like cruise, So I guess we're the posse now.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's just and then there were two, right?
Yeah, and then there were two. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I have noticed that. It's funny. I don't really. I don't seek that out. I think we just kind of like came upon each other, and then like other people who I know. I don't really know that many other booktubers though, and I haven't really tried like you have often to kind of get into the inner circles by the podcasts and all that.
Well, I mean, I just like.
Well, you froze. Does that mean I froze too? Because I'm on his connection. Am I killing? Oh no, I'm still going, guys. It's my stream now. Britain has fallen off the wagon, the digital
talking
wagon.
To people,
here. Oh, is it just me? Holy shit! I have taken over some Okie Dude's channel. I think it's still streaming.
All right.
There he is. He's back. I was trying to. I was announcing that
the internet's been weird for the last couple hours while we've been here, but Ryan here said, "Bro, I don't want to dip in unison, but I'll be heading over." Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I might hop in after this is over as well because I like
Beard of Darkness.
Oh, Matt. He runs a channel. He runs a bunch of interviews with like indie authors and YouTubers.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. Also nice. Tharnall says, what do I read? I would say read Sweet Tooth first, but if you want to read Black Hammer first, I mean, I'm not going to pretend I would prefer reading Sweet Tooth first, but if you want to read Black Hammer first, I'm not going to stop you. So there you go. I'll just keep it at that.
I've heard Black Hammer kind of gets weird toward the end.
It does a little bit
start, and then it kind of turns into Justice League a little bit or something like that.
Little bit. It's Watchmen-y without like being super dark like Watchmen. It's not dark as Watchmen, but it definitely has that. I love how it commentates on the genre of superhero genre. It's very similar to Watchmen in that way. So yeah, I like it a lot. Or I thought so anyway. I mean, I will admit it does get a little Morrison-y towards the. I don't know if you read Grant Morrison, but it does get a little on that kind of meta.
Oh, okay.
But it's good. At least the first series I read was very. I haven't read any of the other stuff, but Sweet Tooth, I would say read that first because.
Cool. Well, thanks for stopping by, Ryan.
It's fantastic. Overlord.
It's what?
It says Jason the Overlord in the comments.
Jason the Overlord. Is that me, or is he talking about somebody else?
Because you were running it earlier.
Oh yeah. There we go. I forget there's a delay.
Milkman McGee says that's a fun name, by the way. If he's actually still here, cool name.
Milkman McGee.
That's a cool name, Milkman McGee. I gotta say, that's a great superhero name. What's Jason's channel? It's just called Jason Furman. FUHRMAN. There you go.
There you go. Just look that up right there.
There you go. Yeah, just put it in the comments. So
Wait, is it actually like is it a link? No. Okay, just highlight.
I mean, you can just look up the name and you'll probably find it. I mean, there's not a lot of Jason Furmans. Well, unless you look on Facebook,
cool.
then
Well,
there's a lot of Jason Furmans.
Thank you for the future sub. Appreciate it.
No, but yeah, I saw him cover Fahrenheit 451, Tony, the other day, and I'm like, that's a very good book.
That's a book that I read. Have I told you about the story where I met Ray Bradbury?
You met Ray Bradbury? No, you did not.
Check this out, viewers.
Oh, you did not tell me you met Ray. Tell me more about this.
Check this out. So, I'm gonna save this. Well, I'm gonna also have the story for. I've been thinking about doing a video like what you tagged me in so long ago about what inspires you.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, I like that copy.
Here is Mr. Bradbury's signature. I also have Martian Chronicles signed. So cool story. This was back in 2005 maybe, something like that. 2005, 2006.
I was 4. I was 4.
There you go. There you go. So he came to my college, my university. He had a book signing. He was speaking there. I was like, holy shit, Ray Bradbury's here. So I went over there. I bought those 2 books. He was the coolest thing about this whole interview, or well, his presentation was he was in a wheelchair, very old man, you could tell he was very weak, frail, and they wheeled him up to the stage, and he got in front of the microphone. The second he opened his mouth was like a young boy again, talking about the future and about Mars and all of these wild ideas going on in his head, and it was such a cool speech. But because his health wasn't so great, he would only, or they said he could only sign 2 books. So I got Martian Chronicles and Fahrenheit 451 signed by him. Yeah, it was awesome, and he's sadly no longer with us, but incredibly huge inspiration to me as a writer.
I mean, he's in my top 3. So I love him a lot.
Yeah, he's so awesome. Really kind to do that, because you could tell like even just signing these books was a struggle for him. But yeah, it was great. Yeah,
no, I'll admit, like, Fahrenheit isn't even like my favorite Bradbury thing. It's probably that's a mix between Martian Chronicles and Something Wicked This Way Comes, because
Martian Chronicles is my top by far. I haven't read all of his work though. I still need to get the Illustrated Man under my belt, which is fucking weird why I haven't read it yet. But
I own it. I just haven't read it yet.
Same.
Maybe this year I'll find an excuse to read it, because I've been wanting to do that for a long time.
Yeah.
Though there may be stories in there I've read before.
I feel like we need to get some. I see a lot of channels doing like buddy reads and stuff, and they get it like on a stream and talk about it. That seems like a cool thing.
Yeah, no, we need to
get some people to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to do more buddy reads this year. Like I got 2 I'm doing, and well, I got one with my friend Johnny you just saw a few minutes ago. I'm doing that with I'll go pull it out real quick because it's
okay. We got Milkman saying, random question for you both. Ooh, what do you believe was the best film released in 2023? Ooh.
I got an answer for that. Spider-Man Cross the Spider-Verse. That film was a freaking masterpiece.
What?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Fucking love it.
That's crazy.
But all right, your turn, Jason.
I'm gonna need a moment. Go ahead and say what you're. I've seen a shitload of movies in 2023, so I'm gonna have to do a little research, I think, to pick my top pick. So go ahead, and what were you gonna talk about the book you're reading?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing a buddy read in March with my friend John. He just saw I'm doing that of What Moves the Dead. I was gonna read this last October, just didn't get around to it.
What is it again? Show it again to me.
What Moves the Dead.
It's that's like a. Is that a retelling kind of a Poe story?
Yeah, Fall of the House of Usher, and also there's a sequel to that coming out this year, which I'm like, why? But whatever, it's fine. Yeah. We'll just go with it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a sort of retelling that I've really enjoyed. Nothing comes to mind. I don't know how I feel about it, because it's almost like, I don't know. It feels like you're dipping lazily into someone else's stuff just to kind of capitalize on it, but I don't know.
As for your question, Tony, yes. I thought so. I did like Oppenheimer a lot.
Oppenheimer was great. I have not seen Spider-Verse. I tried to watch the first one and I could not because of the weird ass frame rate. It was like killing my eyes, so I just couldn't get into it.
Though,
but I am much more of a grimdark movie watcher. So
I liked Oppenheimer a lot, though. It was
yeah. He's frozen again. So Oppenheimer, I love the first two acts, I guess, if you want to talk in acts. The thing that bored me the most. Oh, he's gone again. The thing that bored me the most is that final act with the court drama. Yeah, that's when it really lost me, but the rest of the movie was fantastic.
The internet is being weird today. But yeah, I like Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I'm scrolling through my movies.
I got kind of interested in learning the story. I actually got the book that Nolan had. I'm not a big science guy, but I was really by this story.
Oh yeah, so, I saw that. You got that?
Yeah, I got the book. Right? So
hopefully it'll be good. That's a fatty. That's a big one.
Yeah, I know. It's a thick boy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I also got Hyperion, which I hope to read sometime this year too. I know you're a fan of that, Jason. Even though like I've heard you in the past go like space opera.
I know it really. So again, I think why a lot of fantasy and a lot of space opera, I can't get into them as much anymore, is because my tastes regarding characterization and the depth of like the human condition often don't exist to the level that I would like in those things. But man, Hyperion, that is some beautiful writing. It's very Canterbury Tales inspired, where you have you have like a collection of these quote unquote pilgrims on like this ship, and while they're traveling to this the time tombs, as it's called, they're telling all of their stories of how they got here. And so it's
that's what interested me. I want to.
Yeah, it's great, man. I love that book. Dan Simmons is a criminally underrated writer as well. He's a super. I mean, he's one of the few writers that can successfully genre hop and actually have a career.
Yeah, no, I heard like his book Flashback really sucks, but aside from that, I've heard he's very good.
Yeah, so. Song of Kali, even historical stuff I liked. Okay, the ones that I have read, like The Terror. He did some hard boiled stuff, which was awesome, that I read.
Tony says, love the third act because it gave everyone a chance to show. Sure, yeah. I mean, he had a lot of people in that movie. I mean, my God, like Cillian Murphy is fantastic. I always think is an underrated actor. Emily Blunt, she's fantastic. Benny Safdie. I mean, I don't know if you saw.
Good Times. I know who
Good Time. He's fantastic in that movie, even though he's in it for like 10 minutes.
I thought he was mentally handicapped. That's the first time I ever saw him. And I'm like, is this guy really handicapped? And then it turned out it's like, oh, no, he helped write the movie and direct it. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, no, he was phenomenal. Like,
yeah, he's good.
I also liked Uncut Gems a bit, but, you know,
that was
like
not 2023, was it? No. Oh, you're talking about just Ben Safdie in general.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just talking about the Safdies in general.
I'm watching his new show called The Curse on Showtime right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, Josh Hartnett was in it. Like, where has that guy been?
Dude, I know that guy
20
came
years.
out of nowhere. That was crazy. I was like, what? I was like, everybody's in it. Even the kid who used to be fat and then got thin. What's it called? Like Josh and
Drake and Josh. Oh yeah, Josh Peck was in it.
Yeah,
that dude was like, what?
You're like, what? Yeah, it was crazy. But Cillian Murphy, oh my God, he was so great in it.
Even looked like Oppenheimer too. So that's the weird part. Like,
yeah, he lost the weight and he really embodied kind of just the posture, the mannerisms. Yeah, like I wasn't familiar until I saw some footage of him. I was like, oh my God.
I mean, Florence Pugh was in it, which I'm like, all right, you know, like. I do love me some Florence Pugh.
I know what part of Florence Pugh you liked in that.
Gary Oldman. Oh my gosh, he was
Oldman?
so good in like the scene. I was like, bro, it's crazy. And also the guy that got his Einstein was really good too. I'm like, oh my god, they really went all cylinder. Like, you know, oh
yeah. It to me it felt like Christopher Nolan's like, hey, I'm making a movie, and everybody's like, yes, me, please, can I be in it? I'll do whatever. It's kind of like the whole Sam Jackson when he went to George Lucas. He's like, I don't care, make me a stormtrooper. I just want to be in it. I feel like that's.
And he's like, can I have a purple lightsaber? And George Lucas is like, yeah.
He's like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, Robert Downey Jr. was also fantastic in Oppenheimer. Like he was just God. That was a well acted film.
There were no bad performances in that movie. But yeah, it was. I saw it in a not quite technically an IMAX, but like an IMAX Lite or something. I don't know, but it was an audio visual experience. I feel like it's one of those films that you need to see in the theater.
I'll give them that.
It's so intense, but yeah, that was good stuff. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be looking for my favorite movie of 20. Oh man, two Britons. Oh, the other one.
There were two Britons, but they're no longer two Britons.
Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yes, at least I think so.
Oh, you gotta get off Wi-Fi, man. That's your problem.
Yeah, we were just talking about him, Milkman McGee.
Safdie.
Ben Safdie. He's great.
One of the Safdie brothers.
Alden. I can't pronounce his last name. Han Solo, the young Han Solo.
Oh yeah, I forget his name.
Aaron Reich, something like that. And me and Tony talked about Star Wars for like an hour, so there you go. Good Time is fantastic. I love that film. It's basically like Anxiety for like an hour. Like I forgot how long that film is, but it's basically like Anxiety for like 1.5 2 hours.
You know who is also underrated actor? I feel is Robert Pattinson.
Dude,
who was in that?
Bro, dude, I was defending Robert Pattinson like before it was cool to defend Robert Pattinson. Like Lighthouse, Good Time.
Yeah,
he's
great.
Freaking incredible.
Have you seen him in The Devil All the Time? The Paul.
I haven't, but I've seen clips of him, and he's
so good.
Also, I saw trailers of The Boy and the Heron. He is unrecognizable in that role.
I watched that with my daughter in the theater. Yeah, it was. I kept trying to listen. Like, can I recognize Robert Pattinson? Even just the minutia, I could not. He was indistinguishable from. I could not tell his voice whatsoever.
Man,
I'm trying to. I don't know. You know what? For best movie of 2023, this is probably not the best one because I don't know that I have all of them. But I'm just gonna say this one completely caught me off guard. It's an Argentinian movie called When Evil Lurks. It's a horror film.
I've heard about that. I want to watch it.
It's just it's pretty crazy. It's like a possession film, but it also has like elements of like a zombie movie. But yeah, crazy movie. I don't know if it's the best movie I've seen, but it is one that is worth watching. I also watched Saltburn recently, which is the talk of the town apparently on TikTok anyway.
As for your question, Thernal, no.
Oh, what did he played Cultist Simulator? No, I haven't. Sounds cool though.
I'm still waiting for Carol's hillbilly horror book that he'll eventually write. Because
who?
Carol, Carol Wainwright.
Oh, the Falcon Reeds.
I'm waiting for the hillbilly.
You know what's funny, man, is I'm so drawn to that genre. I don't know what it is. I've never spent any time really in the South, but like True Detective, like
you like hillbillies. I get you.
I don't know what it is, man. Like it's just there's something. Because I guess I would have to give credit to Donald Ray Pollock though to really kind of turn me on to that kind of writing, because what I love about his books is that he creates these kind of grotesque.
You like the hillbillies.
Yeah, he gets these kind of grotesque situations and these scenarios and these characters, but he shows that there's like a a realness to them in a way, right? It's not just all for effect. You can tell that they're really real people lurking beneath the grimy
Well,
facade.
hopefully after My Dark Vanessa or All Things Left Wild, I always forget the name, but hopefully I'll get to knock them stiff after that. So yeah, I'll tell you how it is.
Yeah, let me know. I'd be curious because I'm waiting. I've read all of Donald Ray Pollock's novels. I'm waiting, eagerly awaiting news of something.
I think Tom Holland is talented. He just picks a lot of, well, his script picking acumen needs work. I'll say that.
Well, I don't know if it's him as much as it is. I feel like actors like him, they get a lot of pressure to be in these big tentpole Hollywood movies just to kind of continue their
Yeah,
you know,
I'll give you that.
Yeah, where he needs to go through like a McConaissance where
McConaughey, Sans.
yeah, dude. McConaughey really, he did it right, man. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of these blockbuster romantic comedy goofy things. I want to do something real. And he did it.
Bro, like I like True Detective, like that's still my favorite performance from him. Even over any of like the great like the really good films he was in during that like period, like he was so freaking incredible in True Detective. Like I got to make it like something about that at some point cuz I love that first season.
Yeah, no, and it's I watched it again recently. And it's as good as it was the first time I saw it. Like
I mean, I like Woody, and don't get me wrong, Woody was good. But
yeah, they're both great. They play that's the one thing that I think
fucking
is lacking.
Matthew McConaughey was so good in that. Like, oh my god.
Well, he was such a great counter to Woody Harrelson's character. And I think that's what's the beauty of it is that if the entire movie was Rust Cohle, it might be a little bit tiring, but because you had the levity and the counter, you know, almost like the serving of reality from God, what's Woody Harrelson's character's name? I don't even remember.
Marty.
Marty, yeah, like he really kind of just, yeah, it was great.
I do love the scenes when they're in the car and he's all like, you know, let's make the car a place of silent reflection from now on.
Yeah. That's what was great. It's like he made, you're sitting there like engrossed and being like, man, this guy's psycho listening to Rust Cohle. And then all of a sudden, Marty comes in with this one-liner and you're like, so good.
I will give a little spoiler from my best books of 2023, but Galveston will be on there because that was a fantastic book.
Speaking of Galveston, man, do I miss Nick Pizzolatto. I wish he would make some more stuff, man.
I've seen, like, I follow him on Instagram, and he's like, hey, and some guys are like,
oh man,
hey, we don't have the budget for it right now. And I'm like, I don't know what that means, but okay.
So I was really excited. Check this out. I don't know if you know this, but I read a book called The Churchgoer, which is a noir. It takes place in California.
I want to read that. I saw your review.
It's really good. It's really good. I like it. But check this out. Nick Pizzolatto was going to adapt it with Matthew McConaughey in the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And then it fell apart. I was like, because I was so looking forward to that. But another one thing before I stop talking about Nick Pizzolatto is he was talking to the main guy at Blumhouse Productions, and he said, "Hey, do you have any ideas for a horror movie?" Or he said, "No, like let me know." It's like, actually, I've been sitting on a script for about 10 years. He's like, "All right, let's make this thing." So whether or not it goes through, yeah.
Heard he's making a Western show, so I'm like, that could be fun. But so True Detective is yes, at least the first season. And any thoughts on? I'm kind of conflicted because Nick Pizzolatto isn't a part of season 4, but Jodie Foster is good.
Yeah, she's
probably not gonna watch it though.
Really? I will give it a shot for sure.
Maybe you know what? I'll back up. I'll give it a shot, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll check it out, see how it goes. Do I have high expectations or high hopes? No, I don't have high hopes for it.
I don't think any, like, season 1, it's like trying to follow up like Watchmen or something, you know, or like What's another great book that can't be topped? Like The Road or something.
Yeah.
Like try and
imagine
like
having
follow that up.
Yeah, a sequel to The Road. Like it's just good luck. No way.
It's like dude, like that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, you know what? I will check it out. I'll keep an open mind. We'll see how
Or
it goes.
Lolita, you know, you're like, what? Like,
oh yeah, yeah, Lolita Part 2. What?
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's. But yeah, no, I'm not against season 4 though. The Road's Electric Boogaloo. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
But speaking of that, let's talk about that for a minute. Do you think? Because I've been having a real time with series lately. So I'm actually reading the 3rd book in the Gap series by Donaldson, which is the only series I think.
Yeah, I heard you were getting into that, and
yeah,
you know, I was looking at it the other day. I was kind of reading the synopsis. I'm like, this sounds like the most edgelordy bullshit. Like, I don't know how Jason got sucker. Like, I'll read it someday. It's on my I'll read it someday list.
It's I think part of it is that I just every time I try to read a sci-fi novel that takes place in space, I'm always disappointed. Always. Because I'm trying to like find that like blue collar gritty sci-fi that I grew up with as a kid, and
so like
I haven't found it yet. Yeah, like Alien, and this one like nails it. And granted, it was written in the 90s, like 91, so it's of the time. But yeah, I was like, holy shit. And so I think a lot of it has to do with the nostalgic factor for me. It's definitely not for everybody. But anyway, back on a series. So, because we're talking about imagine a sequel to True Detective Season 1, like a good one. Imagine a sequel to Lolita or The Road. Do you find that when you read a series that you almost feel like, man, you should have just stopped with book 1 and left it as is, and you kind of dilute the whole franchise because you're trying to expand this universe?
Well, you know, I read last year in 2023 I read the Gentleman Bastard books, and
right.
Liza Locke-Lamora was kind of like that, except Red Sea Under Red Sky was also very good. Then I got the Republic of Thieves, and I was kind of like, man. But you know, books that I read parts of in one of my rare DNFs. I read Ghost Set of Watchmen, which is the sequel to Kill a Mockingbird, and I thought that was an utter disgrace. So I
really,
I threw it out.
I think Carol Wainwright, I think he likes that book.
Yeah, Carol's weird. I think sometimes I don't get him. He's like he likes some really weird stuff.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy for sure.
No, but one of my no, like, but like, what has that happened to me? I don't like. I'm kind of nervous that will happen to me. Does that make sense? Like, I read American Gods. I love that a lot. And I'm like, man, that would be fun to see more of that. But at the same time, I'm like,
well,
man,
there is the Anansi Boys or whatever, right? That's kind
well, that's more like a spinoff.
Yeah. Okay, so you mean like a direct sequel?
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
I think that I don't know, man. I think sometimes just great stories just need to end, and don't try to. I understand the desire because people want to re-experience that again with something new. So everybody loves like TV shows, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, season 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. But for me, like I honestly prefer a like a film to a TV show most of the time because you get like just this single story and it ends. That's why I love miniseries so much too. Be just a handful of episodes and then done.
Well, I mean, I think you're a little too hard on True Detective season 3. Now, I will give you it is not season 1, but I thought it was a pretty damn good season of television.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but it's not. Yeah, it's not season 1. The funny thing
I'll give you that.
is,
I'm not gonna act like bro, this is like season 1. No, it's not. It's not. And I mean, if I ever do say that, you can laugh at me, but it's not. It really isn't. But
I wonder what happened to Pizzolatto on season 2. Like, what happened to him on that one?
My guess is he was trying to do too much at once. Like, that was my kind of guess, is he kind of stretched himself thin, I thought. Because, like, here's this murder mystery. Oh, now Vince Vaughn is trying to get out of the game. Okay. Oh, here's this, like, private military company. Oh, here's this unhinged Colin Farrell cop trying to, do his thing. It's like any one of those could be good, but, like, concise. Sometimes I like concise in storytelling.
Yeah. I think that's probably what he was trying to do. Yeah, too many characters.
And then there's like Taylor Kitsch running around, and like he might be gay, and then he might not. Then he gets murdered. You're like, oh, okay, like that was waste of time.
Yeah.
Not that there weren't good moments. I liked how the Vince Vaughn character ended up. Like that desert scene, I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
And I liked Colin Farrell's character, that whole story. I'm like, you could have just done that, like, but that was a good thing about season 3. It felt more concise. And you're like, okay. Though it was kind of like, all right, season 1, playing with the timeline a little. I mean, it's a different story, but the Rhodes Electric Boogaloo. Oh God, help us all.
I do need to finish. I bought Nick Pizzolatto's short story collection many years ago, called Between Here and the Yellow Sea. I need to read that.
I mean, the thing about, like, Go Set a Watchman, I mean, I'm sure Carol will come on and be like, no, it's actually good. But, like, the thing about that book is, like, if she had just wrote that as, like, a standalone about a girl, like, coming to terms with, like, her father being a racist asshole, that would have been a great story. I think that could have been a great story. But the fact that it's a sequel, a follow-up to Kill a Mockingbird, I do enjoy To Kill. It's not one of my favorite books, but it's a very good one, I think.
Gotcha.
I mean, I know you like coming of age stories, so I mean, you might like it. You might. I mean, I'm sure you probably would read it and be like, "Oh, this is so obvious about like the commentary," but it's good. It's good.
I read To Kill a Mockingbird in high school, and I don't remember much about it. I don't remember really enjoying it, but I feel like it's one of those books I should read as an adult, that I'd probably be able to appreciate it more.
I mean, I know you're kind of a pessimist, so I don't know how the I don't know how about his big speeches in the end might affect you, but you may surprise me. You have before.
I have surprised you. How have I surprised you?
You like The House of Leaves.
That surprised? Oh yeah, I guess that was another book too that it took me like 20 years to read, because I remember opening. I heard so many great things about it. I looked at it and I'm like, wow, this looks crazy. I don't think I'm ready for this yet. And then when I read it finally, I was like, holy shit, this is like.
You ever read The King in Yellow? You're like, it's kind of like the play. Might drive you insane.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I was in love with it when I read it. It's
or like No Country for Old Men too. Like that would suck, or maybe I don't want to say it would, but like it could suck, like you don't need to do it.
Yeah, I think I do prefer standalones. I don't know. There's just something about the simple beauty, the simplicity of having a complete story without feeling like it gets. Oh, my camera went off. Like it gets out of. I'll come back.
Jason has disappeared.
I'm the ghost of. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. It's probably just my camera being
Milkman McGee says, I only saw the first episode for season 2 and I couldn't push myself further than that. I'll give you up. That's fair. I mean, like, how are you gonna like? It's like, again, it's like following up like Watchmen or something like that. I say Watchmen because that's like the first one that comes to my mind, but like, like, how are you gonna follow that up?
Yeah,
how are you gonna do that? You can't. Or well. Now, to be fair, like, it was an anthology season. It was an anthology series, so it's, like, different stories. So, like, you could have done something good, but everyone's going to be like, dude, it's not like season 1. I would have just left it as a mini-series if I were Pizzolatto, but, oh well. We still have it, and it's still a great story as its own. So, I can just kind of... I can still enjoy myself.
I mean, he got the pressure because season 1 was such a massive hit that they're like, we need more of these, and he's like, okay. But
well, look how well that went for him.
Yeah, I know. Here we are. I think I was listening to an interview recently where he's like, there's still some things I like about it. So,
well, like I said, season 2 isn't like a complete dumpster fire. It's just massive disappointment.
Yeah.
It's like playing The Last of Us 2.
You had to work that in there, huh?
You're just like, you're just depressed after playing it. And you're just like, man, shit,
Exactly.
Should have mentioned The Last of Us, even though it did get a sequel. And, there are things I like about it, but, it's just a lot of it. I'm like, no.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what they do with season 2 of the show. Not that it's going to be good, but just curious.
Oh man. so much to look forward to. Oh, like here's a good one. Like I'll think about movies, for instance, like Jaws. Like you didn't need it. I mean, Jaws 2 isn't that bad, but like you don't really need a Jaws 2. I didn't really think they needed a Jaws 2, but
No, definitely not. But the machine must be fed, right?
Yeah, it's a brutal place in Hollywood sometimes, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
There's always that like how much are you gonna keep your integrity, which is why I don't know if I could ever work in Hollywood, because they would probably it's kind of why I'm like wanting to do self pub, or I'm kind of debating with myself on what to do with like A Plague of Nightmares, and like I could try and do it to Orbit, but like does Orbit take things that are under 500 pages? Like I highly doubt that.
I don't know. Yeah, and well, the thing is about publishing is often you have to get an agent first, and then once you have an agent, the agent's going to give you a bunch of edits until they see it's fit to submit, and then hopefully the publisher will take it. So it's
okay. Rocky 2, fantastic film, and the rest of them are like Rocky, great movie. Rocky 2, great film. Rocky 3, pretty good. 4, super goofy, but I still enjoy it. 5, ridiculously bad. And then, like, I'll give you that. It probably didn't need a sequel, but I do think Rocky 2 is a fantastic film. Like, I really do. Like, then again, I grew up watching Rocky, so I might be, and there are some movies you don't need a sequel, like Warrior, for instance, like that's a fantastic movie. You don't need a sequel for that. Now, are there films I would be curious to see what happens next? The first one that pops in my mind, The Truman Show. I would love to see what happened after the end of that movie.
Really?
Yeah, no, like really, like think about it. Like your whole life is a lie. Like you realize your whole life is a lie. What would you do after that? Like that would be interesting. That could be interesting.
But is it better to have the what if, like the question in your mind, or to have it answered?
I was about to say that's kind of the thing. that is the catch-22. But right. I think that would be a really interesting thing to play with, though. I saw The Matrix 2. I didn't even like the first Matrix film, to be honest with you.
You didn't like the first film?
Dude, you will not believe how much flack I've gotten for not liking the first Matrix film.
When did you see it, though? That's the big thing.
Like,
when did you see it?
It was almost like I killed somebody's dog. Like I swear to you, when did I see it? Oh, I saw it when I was early teens, maybe. And I was like, this isn't that mind-blowing. Now I understand. I was not born in I did not see it when it first came out.
No, I know. I guess because, a lot of times when you see something when it first comes out and it really kind of just changes the face. Man, my camera keeps going out. I might have to change it. You kind of changes the face of something. That's kind of
Yeah.
what the Matrix was. Now, to me, like now, I'm kind of like, okay, I get it, but there's a lot of weird stuff as well about it. So I don't know. I can see how someone wouldn't like the Matrix.
And like, look, I understand that like it's a very influential film, and like, I understand that, and like there are good scenes in that film. Like I do like the red pill scene, even though it's been memed and it's been hijacked by crazy people.
Yeah.
It's still a great scene because it's like it's offering it. It's a good scene, but like I find it's very. There's better sci-fi stuff that's covered this material, like what they're playing with.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree. I agree with
like PKD, The Twilight Zone, did it, and like I think they've done it better. Which there might be people who disagree with me, and that's totally fine. That's just kind of my, Jason, you probably remember when it first came out.
that. I do. I can't remember if I saw it in the theater though. I think I did. I think no, because I was about 12 or 13 when it came out. I think.
So what would like when he like did his whole like thing, you were like, oh.
Yeah, I can't remember if I saw it on DVD after the fact. I don't know why I have no memory of seeing the theater, but yeah, it was one of those movies too that I don't know. Even at the time, there was a lot of cheesy stuff in it, even for the '90s. But I remember watching the second one, and the second one was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I was
I've
gonna
never seen the
say
third
you were
one.
thinking about movies that shouldn't have a sequel. I'm like, I really don't think The Matrix needed one. But then again, I don't like the first one, so I really don't care.
Yeah, but I don't know. I get it. I get it. I'm not offended that you don't like the first Matrix.
No, but like I appreciate that, Jason. But there are people who are legitimately offended. I don't like that film, and I'm just like,
So I don't know if you've been present on my Discord server when we talked about The Shining, but so many people.
Are you talking about the film or the book?
Yeah, well, kind of both. So a lot of people like Helena, Zippery, and I think God, who else? Anyway, Lee thinks the book is better, and I'm like, whoa, what? And I think Helena saw it recently and just didn't get the hype. And
yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple people who don't like The Shining, and to be honest, like, I mean,
I don't get it because to me, again, I didn't see it when it came out. It came out when I was like basically a baby. So, but it's such an iconic film. It's like such a great distillation of what a story can be into the purest form.
oh man, I love The Shining. It's my second favorite horror film of all time.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so good.
it might. I love Stephen King, but that might be one of the like adaptate that might actually surpass the original material. And I like The Shining novel. I think it's a very good for what it is. But
the funny thing about The Shining novel for me is that it's doing everything I don't want a horror novel to do, and that's explain everything and also to have like redemption. Like I felt like it's such a beautiful tragedy, the film, and the book itself has like a redemption arc for Jack, and then plus it explains so much about what made the hotel mysterious, and that's what killed it for me. Because being such a fan of the movie, I went back and I read the book, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It looks like Britain froze again. Oh, okay. So Milkman, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was really shocked by the book. I don't know what I expected. I guess something a little bit closer to the film, but
sorry, my
that's okay.
fucking internet is it's not cooperating right now. But I should note, I think that's the thing about the Shining movie versus it. I think what differentiates the two is the worldview, really, because Stanley Kubrick and Stephen King are two fundamentally different people with very different opinions on how the world is. And you see that through The Shining, especially. And that's why Stephen King doesn't like it, because, not necessarily that it doesn't reflect it. Well, I mean, aside from the personal stuff, because, The Shining is a personal story of King's, but it's also that they're just two different people with two vastly different opinions on what makes compelling horror. I don't want to say that either or is more right than the other, but I think it's complicated.
Yeah.
And I will say I do think the film is much more interesting in terms of like what it's saying, but I don't think the book is like, I don't think it's like some like, because I don't like the idea of people being like, oh, look at this kind of like book, and he kind of elevated it, because like, and I find that kind of it's simple. I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, I respect what King did from a story standpoint, but or a character arc standpoint, but for whatever reason, I love the just absolute hopeless descent into madness that the film is.
Well, yeah. I think the like I said, I think it might be one of those films where like it's better than the movie, and it's very rare. Like Stalker, for instance, I would say I found far more compelling than the book was.
I agree. I agree with that.
Well, I don't want to say Annihilation, because Annihilation the film and Annihilation the book, I find both equally compelling for different reasons. So that's not really a good comparison.
Yeah. I didn't like Annihilation. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't like. I was disappointed with Annihilation the first time I saw it. Until I
really, I thought you dig that film.
No, I liked it, but I was somewhat disappointed until I kind of had to step back and say, okay, he's trying to do something different. And once I saw an interview with Alex Garland, how he was saying, I wasn't trying to make a direct adaptation. I was trying to create the feeling I got from reading the book. And I feel like he succeeded in that regard. But when I went into it, I was expecting an adaptation. And when I got something that was different, it was disappointing to me. So I do appreciate it now. I enjoy it now. It took me a moment to actually separate or understand that he wasn't trying to do a direct adaptation to it. So
like King, going back to The Shining, like the thing is that again, they're two very different people, two different worldviews. Like King is like, if you read his books, you will see Stephen King at his heart he's a romantic at heart, really. Like he really believes, even though things can't, like he has done Bleak, like he can do Bleak, like Pet Sematary, Cujo, even though he says he doesn't remember writing Cujo, which I just think it's hilarious. But he really thinks like, if we can get our act together and we can defeat evil, we just have to come together. Kubrick does not believe that. He thinks that everything sucks, and that's very simple. And I can see the Kubrick fans coming out like but it's like that's it. It's just Kubrick is more cynical in nature. If you watch any of his movies, you'll get that.
Yeah, no,
he's more pessimistic.
Yeah, no, I could see that for sure. I get it.
And Kubrick's version compels you more, and that's fine. I'm not gonna. I mean, King has written some duds. I mean, if you've read Cell, you know. If you've read the Tommyknockers, you know. But yeah, no, it's Stalker, though, I can say without a shadow of doubt, I found the film far more compelling than the book. And I liked the book fine. I thought it was pretty good. It's good. It's a good book. But
yeah,
just what Stalker did is like it boggles the mind.
Yeah,
for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it's such an experience. It's such a bizarre, immersive, I don't even know how to explain Stalker the film, but yeah, it's I'd agree. It's better. Totally.
It's also real creepy once you realize the once like the Chernobyl, like, oh man.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy how Chernobyl kind of inspired all the I don't know, this I'm totally fascinated by it too. Same thing with Annihilation or the Southern Reach, right? There's a zone that is off limits that something crazy happened and things are going weird, right? Exactly like Roadside Picnic. Even Lovecraft, I feel like there's a Lovecraftian element to it in a way, where there's this unknown, this mysterious something, this force or forces going on that I've always been fascinated by.
Yes. Though, I will say like Tremblay does that very well. I thought not really the unknown, but more just he's very good at creating ambiguity.
Oh yeah,
At least
that's
I
his
thought he
forte.
did in the book I read of his, which I covered on my channel. So
You've only
you know,
read one, just the cabin at the end of the world, right?
yeah, I do want to see I do want to see I do want to read Head Full of Ghosts for even though I'm
Ooh.
freaked out by possession stories.
Great. I would say that's his best novel I've read. I've read.
I was raised in a
Four?
religious household, Jason. We're
Ah.
taught to be afraid of demons.
Gotcha. It's a great book. So Milkman, have you?
I have
either
not.
seen-
I've heard it's
I have.
great.
I have. It is great. It is great, Milkman. It's a fantastic show, which further boggles my mind as to how Craig Mazin could have created the dumpster fire that is the Last of Us TV show. Because Craig Mazin was also the showrunner for Chernobyl, and it was great. Yeah, I really loved it. I can speak nothing to the historical accuracy of it, but as an
Dramatized
ignorant viewer,
version of events.
I loved it. It was beautifully shot, great acting, just all around great. Yeah,
I gotta watch that at some point because like
Yeah,
a lot of
you
people
should.
are like, bro,
it's
it's the
good.
shit.
It's kind of, to me, it's almost like the end of HBO, what HBO used to be. I feel like they're really since they've been acquired by like the Discovery Channel, I guess, or what, Warner Brothers or whatever it is. They've really they're circling the drain with their content. They don't have that like art for the sake of art mentality anymore, or it's rare that stuff kind of pops up on their network. But Chernobyl was one of the last great shows that HBO put out.
Like Scavenger's Reign though.
That was really good. Yeah, that was, to me.
I still need to finish that because I'm so bad. I'm so sorry, Jason. I've just been,
No, it's fine. I'm not offended.
I'm so terrible at like finishing things. Though I watched it though, and I'm like, yo, this is a fucking vibe. It's just so fucking bizarre.
But to me, to me that show, it gave me, I don't know, it gave me so much hope because it was reminiscent of what HBO used to be. It's a weird narrative. It's an animated show. It's adult oriented. It's not for kids. It's not a comedy. It's not there to make you laugh either. It's a drama. And they made it happen. And so I'm like, okay, shit, maybe they still actually want to make, artistic kind of stuff. So we'll see.
It's like
We'll see where it goes.
Miyazaki and Moebius, if I could describe it. Like,
Yeah, I would
really
say it's
bizarre.
like Mobius and Miyazaki. Yeah, I would say, yeah, I guess that's a good fusion. Yeah, because the art style is Mobius through and through, whereas the imaginative kind of weirdness of it.
Well, you know that
is,
little like
Miyazaki. He froze.
blob like that, like that reminded me of Miyazaki a lot.
Yeah. There's definitely the creature aspect is very Miyazaki for sure. So we'll see when he comes back to the stream. Everybody, it's kind of weird being on somebody else's channel, and then that person like glitches out, but then I'm still going. Oh, and here I have full screen again. I have taken over the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
Just all right. We're coming back to what I was saying. Scavenger's Reign, interesting show. Even Vandermeer liked it, so that's kind of being
big surprise, right?
I know, yeah, I know, right? You're just like, man, wow, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure he was just sitting there, just green with envy, because like he didn't write that.
Yep.
No, but also the intro is quite strange.
Yeah, it was different. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't
really makes you think about just the nothingness of the cosmos and how insignificant we are.
Yeah. Yep.
No, but yeah, I've glitched out a few times. I think we should probably wrap this up soon. Yeah. Jason, thank you for coming on as always.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me.
Happy New Year's, everyone. This was the State of the Okie 2020. Jason is the Borg.
Yeah. See, in the background, what I'm doing is I'm actually like sabotaging his home internet all the way from California, so I can plug my shit while he's figuring his internet out. No, I'm kidding.
No, but did you ever watch any Star Trek, Jason?
I watched a friend of mine was really into the Next Generation, so I watched a little bit of that, but it didn't have the same charm as like Star Wars did for me as a kid, because it was all very corporate. Like everybody's in these nice clean suits, and they're on the ship most of the time, and
That's kind of what I like about it. It seems a little
Really?
more like, people kind of, though I'll give you, it probably is a little too clean. But, aside from that, it's just kind of Deep Space Nine, though. That's freaking amazing. But anyway, Jason, you run things. Chill real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna run things for a bit. What are you doing?
Oh, I was about to end it. I was just telling you to chill your content.
Oh yeah, if you guys wanna, if you guys wanna check out my stuff, it's my name, Jason Furman. You can look me up on YouTube, where I also talk about books and storytelling and writing and so on and so forth. So,
Thurnall is a man of quality. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter or X or whatever the hell they're calling it now. On Goodreads and Letterboxd, where I write reviews. And you can also find me on Discord. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, probably the next one of these I'll do is gonna be 1 year anniversary of my booktubing career. So that'll be in like a few, the 17th. So like a couple of weeks from now.
This month. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah. No, thank you, everyone who came on. Thank you, Jason. I just got a message from John saying thanks for the invite. Well, thanks for coming on, everyone, and thanks for commenting. As it was kind of awkward there at the beginning where I was like, oh, man, am I just going to be here by myself the whole time? But thank you all for coming on, and we should do this again in 2025. I don't even want to think about that right now. And, well, I'm probably going to get something to eat, and then I'm probably going to start this. So, yeah.
Let me know how that one is, because that looks really cool.
All right. Well, take care, everyone. Until next time. Video will be out on Wednesday.